Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of ESL Open Cup Americas number 231. That's a lot of weeks. That's a lot of ESL Open Cups. I'm of course your Sly VIP, and with me I'm joined by my plushies and the amazing people in the chat. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo están todos? Hope you're all doing well. Oh god, I'm dying. As thankfully I'm back on that horse. You know, we've had a couple of months of hiatus from casting ESL Americas live. Usually we've been casting it via replays these past couple of months, but now my sleep schedule is back to order for a couple of days. I'll get into that later. Been casting a bunch of European events. Because of that, I haven't been able to be awake for ESL Americas, but the past 2 weeks we've been here, and I intend for that to be the case in the upcoming for the foreseeable future. And here we go, spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have our first player of the night. We have our Finnish Zerg player, the blue Zerg representing Berserker Esports. It is Mixu. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Canadian Terran player representing Apprentice Esports. It is Zero. We go again, exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back yourselves. The bracket is stacked full of amazing players. We have some top tier contenders. We have Dark, we have Creator, we have Hero, we have Solar, we have, I believe, Björn, and even Ryung as well. So we got some of the best from Korea. Likewise, we have MaxPax, we have Skilless, we have Mana, we have Mixu, we have plenty from Europe, and even plenty from the Americas and Latin America as well. This is what is best about ESL Americas, is that we bring together players from all around the world, from all regions, all shapes, and all sizes, and they will compete here for our entertainment. It's beautiful, Bobby. It's beautiful. But yeah, my sleep schedule has been a little bit messed up, especially because we had a 12-hour cast on Saturday. We spent the entire day covering the House Galactic Battle, which was an offline event in Poland. So I had to adjust for that. I had to adjust for DreamHack Dallas, which was the previous weekend. And this weekend is the SC2 Safe House, the North American event that's going to be going on. And we're also going to be casting that. That is going to be starting at 3 a.m. 3 a.m. my time. So even though I've kind of got my sleep schedule back in order, I'm gonna have to ruin it again this weekend. And even the weekend after that is Home Story Cup, which is also a European focus event, and it just doesn't end. It doesn't stop. So yeah, I'm basically currently my sleep schedule is in flux depending on what tournaments are going on and what I'm going to be casting. So yeah, so I mean, so far I'm keeping up, so far I'm holding on. Hopefully it lasts. Fingers crossed. As we're selling into our opener, it's going to be a 3cc before Starport. Economic opener at a 0. First Reaper has arrived. Dipping in, third base has been thrown down, and so far so good. This CC was slightly earlier than normal. It was thrown down before even the factory did complete, so you know, slightly more efficient here, or I should say slightly more greedier out of 0. More than anything, they're actually going into a second Reaper. Interesting. With a second Reaper, we have a little bit more map control, and just like that, these links are going to be shut down, but more links do arrive. Link speed kicks in, and we do get a surround on one. The other, can we escape? Oh, ooh, we barely can. Reaper does manage to get away, but this was a pretty committed investment here from 0, and Mixu is doing such a great job at punishing this here. The first Reaper goes down, the other is stuck here on the other side of the map. We have links racing across the map as well, forcing SCVs to be off the mineral line. They're not mining, they're spending minerals here on these depots. Eventually the Marines and Helium will arrive, but this is a pretty good start for Mixu. A very nice start here as more links flooding in. There's an SCV behind the mineral line. No, the SCV! The SCV is going to be chased down and is going to be, falling here to the hands of those lings. So again, no mining whatsoever here at the natural waste. It has been delayed for quite some time. Now we get some Hellions, and now we should be going for an add-on swap into Hellion production. But until then, Mixu is in control. Mixu's looking good. Is looking solid here as the Reaper does dip back in. Does manage to escape the clutches of those lings with their queens and the bases. And we have, a hidden Roach Warren here at the natural base. So far unscouted. Reaper goes down. Hellion production not underway. This is wild. Okay, so winding it back a little bit here. It wasn't just the faster third CC, but no reactor on the factory, which means we have no map presence. there's a give and take here. Okay, so winding it back a little bit and why this is important to point out. Usually you go for an add-on swap into reactor to Hellion to get up to 4, maybe 6, maybe 8 Hellions to move out across the map to apply pressure, to deny creep, and to more importantly scout the Zerg player. But Zero is avoiding that entirely. Zero prioritizing Marine production instead, getting into his 3-1-1 setup. Because of this, he will have more Marines than normal. That's the upside, is that the Marine count is going to be a little bit higher for his stim timing. That is true, but it also means that Zero is in the dark, and Zero doesn't know what Mixu is up to. Doesn't know that Mixu is sending out roaches. Roaches are being sent across the map. We have the Zonaga, we have map control. Mixu cutting workers at 42 for the time being. Is supply blocks. Oh, a bit of a brutal supply block, but we are going to be committed. At the same time, Zero has to be careful. If he gets caught out on the map, that could just be game. He needs to be behind the wall. He needs to have some kind of SimCity working for him because Mixu is not stopping. Mixu is not slowing down. We're sending it, Bob. It's going to be a full all-in. Ravagers are on the way to knock down the wall. Lings are amassing as well to flood in once the wall gets knocked down. And what do we have to defend? We have Marine. We have man with gun. Only one Hellion, no Marauders, no tanks, no Widowmines, no nothing. Stim is halfway done. Medevacs have arrived, but here come the Roach Ravager. First things first, the wall is going to be knocked down. Lings are looking to flood on in. The wall has been broken, and boys are being pulled. Zero. It's going to be a tough defense for him. Bile's going to be grazing the army. Deepers are falling. Massive supply block for Zero. And we commit. We do commit in. Biles, will they take down the Medevac? Medevac goes down. SCV's falling as well. 8 worker kills. 0 mining whatsoever at the natural bases. Boys had to be pulled. Yeah, we have to lift up that natural. Zero does preserve a lot of his workers. Is getting into Cyclone production behind this. Forced to throw down the high yield supply depot there to break out of the supply block. But that's going to be another depot falling. Another supply block here for Zero. Cyclones have arrived. Lings are being cleaned up. It looks like we can it looks like we should be able to force this back. But not before losing 28 SCVs. Ay, ay, ay. Again, a solid punish here by Mixu. I'm loving the choice here from our Zerg player. Once we deny the scouting, once we realize how greedy our opponent is being, throw down the Roach Warren. Just throw it down, mass Lings, send out some Ravagers, and just commit. And again, Zero, if he had scattered, if he had known what was going on, then we would have seen a much stronger defense. We would have seen bunkers being thrown down, prioritization of tank or even Cyclone production, even going into Banshee play, or, I mean, it was a 2-1-1 setup there, but any kind of other reaction. Alas, we just didn't know what was coming. Zero survives, but again, look at that supply. We're down to 8 workers here on the low ground across the map. Mixu, supplyable for a moment there, but is on 3-base saturation. We can get a 4th base. We're amassing Ling Roach Ravager. As long as Mixu isn't too greedy, we should be okay. Yeah, we have enough of an army. And pushing through this center location is not going to be easy either. The choke point is brutal. One Cyclone goes down. Oof. Cyclone does fall behind this. I mean, sure, we have that 3rd CC, but and we can remake 3 workers at a time. True. You know, we can recover if given time, but that is a big if. Mixu is building up, and Mixu should not allow Zero to get back into this. As Mixu is amassing more roaches, does have a 4th on the way, has cut workers at 3-base saturation. That's going to be 67 workers for Mixu for the time being. Again, only 3-base saturation. And now just focusing on his army. We got range upgrades on the way, roach speed as well. Double jumping towards the south, headed towards the main base. We'll get eyes on the hatchery. And oh, the Medevac is so low! Oh my god. Does survive. Mixu pulled back from him and did flinch. That Medevac was so close to going down and still might. Oof. As the Medevac barely does escape. In a very fortunate moment for Zero, but still up against the wall. As the army has been found. The Biles! Ooh. Don't quite connect with the Medevacs. Meanwhile, double jump on the left-hand side. Okay, so drop play from Zero. His goal here to try to pull Mixu apart. Double jump towards the left, double jump towards the right. So far, Mixu is splitting up his units. He is in position ahead of time. He's ready for the drop. Yeah, he's ready for that drop. Zero still stuck on 2 bases. Has been able to resaturate on 2 bases thanks to his 3rd CC. But taking a 3rd base, that's going to be a different story. That's going to be far more difficult here for our Canadian Terran. As Mixu, he's rocking up once again. He's rocking up once again, still keeping up with all the drop play here on both sides of the map. pushing forward and knocking back those Marines. The wall once again exposed. Oh, and we can just walk in. There is a tank on the high ground. The tank is helping. A second tank has arrived. But there's only so much that two tanks can do. Only so much. And Marine's going to be falling. SCVs, there's no way out of this. Tank volleys are good. And a lot of roaches are going down. But these are losses that Mixu can afford. As reinforcements are on the way, we get a surround on the Bio Army. The Biles, oh, they take down Metavax. 21 more SCVs go down. And Mixu should be able to run away with this. Again, impressive that Zero was able to hold on for as long as he did. But all he could do was survive. But he could not really live. So with those tank volleys, able to hold on. I mean, hey, these tanks, they've been putting in a lot of work. Look at this. We have 13 kills on one tank. We have 11 on the other. But GG gets called because there's nothing else we have. Mixu will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Again, a solid game there at a Mixu, taking advantage of the lack of information that Zero had. And again, winding things back, Zero had very limited scouting information because of his build, because of his opener. He was just, stuck at home for the most part, and unfortunately his initial Reaper aggression wasn't able to give him the information he needed to recognize how aggressive Mixu was about to be. No scout of the Roach Warren, no scout on the gases, no scout on the lack of saturation at the third base. Just, again, a lot of incomplete information there for Zero, and because of that, was caught with his pants down. And now we're getting into game number 2. We're getting ready for that second game. Again, this is going to be a full best of 3. Oh, my apologies. I'll just, there we go, fix up our lovely logos. And I want to believe that we can have a back and forth. I don't think that game 1 was really representative of Zero's skill set, just because he was kind of behind from almost the beginning. Like, it was just a rough start for Zero, and he couldn't really show us what he's capable of. Like, sure, he was going into some drop play, but that was after he had already fallen behind. I want to believe that if we can get a more secure start, a more stable opener for Zero, that we can get a back and forth and maybe go to the ace match. Possible. Do want to believe. Max Mana makes sure everyone who starts with M is here. Oh, let's go. I think I saw Australia as well. I could be mistaken. Also technically M. Did I see Australia? Yeah, I saw it. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of side Delta, we have our blue Zerg player. The blue Zerg representing Berserker Esports from the land of Finland, leading the series 1-0. It is Mixu. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as a opponent, we have the Red Terran player from the land of Canada, representing our Predators Esports. Down in this series, looking to bounce back, it is Zero. We go. And again, there is that bracket command in the chat if you wish to have a look at the overall bracket, to have a look at all the competitors here tonight. We will be going over it after this series. Once we get a little bit of downtime, we can go over some of the matches, go over some predictions, some of the more top-tier competitors that are soon to be facing off as well. Honestly, I had a really hard time picking my first series, just because, I mean, if you watch regularly, you would know that usually when we pick a series, we kind of stay in that quadrant of the bracket, and that's where we focus our attention. So I had a really hard time picking because there's just so many good players and so many good foreseeable matches in the round of 16, the quarterfinals as well. Like, there's a lot of really good matches coming up. So I had to kind of, you know, make a decision there on what I wanted to cover and what I would miss out on. You know, in an ideal world, I'd cast everything. I'm sure you know that. I'd love to cast it all. But we have to pick and choose. So hope I did pick correctly in the end. I'm sure the matches are going to be amazing already. Been a lot of fun. So we do settle in. For now, hatch gas pool. Oh, wait, no, never mind. Never mind here. My apologies. I assumed it was going to be a standard opener, but I misspoke here. This was a faster gas. This was a gas first. Gas pull into hatchery. Link speed already on the way. First queen is out. A much more aggressive build here out of Mixu. And I call this aggressive because it was a faster gas geyser. So really fast link speed from our Finnish Zerg player. Across the map, Zero confirms. He throws down a safety bunker. Once he realizes how late the hatchery is, Zero's getting ready. He's getting ready for the worst. He doesn't know if it's a roach rush or a bane bust or what kind of aggression's coming. So safety bunker, Reaper stays at home as well, just a little bit longer. We're trying to secure ourselves. Reaper moves out. Link's coming in for the intercept. Oh, but link speed isn't quite done. And the links are caught instead. Oh my god. That's so, oh my, they almost a surround. Calm down, Poppy, calm down. Reaper does slip away. Oh my god. Does manage to slip away, but there we go. Link speed does kick in. We are on the hunt for that Reaper back at home. It's going to be interesting. A 1-1-1 from Zero. I mean, it makes sense because of the opener that he's up against. Because Mixu's being a little bit more aggressive. Reaper goes to the dive, gets behind the mineral line, and we deny the scouts. Reaper goes down, but I believe we didn't quite get behind the mineral line. Okay, now we saw enough. I was going to say that technically there could be like a hidden roach warren, but he also saw the lack of gas mining, so he should be feeling pretty safe. He's seen enough. Has seen enough here. Back at home, Zero again, 1-1-1 opener, leads into faster Banshees, into Cloaks, so we're going to be delaying our third base. Last game, we went for a faster third. This time, very delayed third base for Zero. Much more aggressive, committing into additional Hellions. First Hellions have arrived, and there's that Roach Warren from Mixu once again, playing very Roach heavy. Okay. Here we go. Mixu is setting up, and meanwhile across the map, Zero likewise now being active with his Hellions, and with these Hellions we should be able to confirm the eventual Roach production, and because of playing Roaches, Banshees is going to be amazing offensively and defensively. I do like this start a lot more for Zero. General, I do like this a lot more with those Banshees. Hellions, they get behind the middle line, a couple of drones getting roasted. They line up, oh my god, the drones, they do line up, 7 workers go down, ay, ay, ay. 7 drones do fall. The Hellions, they get the hell out of there. I mean, look at the trades here. That was 0 Hellions for 6 drones. Meanwhile, across the map, the Overlord does confirm. Big scout here for Mixu. Mixu confirms the late CC and the prioritization of the 1-1-1. So we need spores, and there they are. There they are. Spores are on the way. Lair is on the way. We will have detection in time, but we have to keep up with the Hellions because they've already done quite a bit of damage. They're coming in once again. Will the event ever look too late? The block is too late. Drones are getting completely annihilated. They get roasted, Pappy. 10 more workers go down. That is 16 drone kills in total. These Hellions have more than paid for themselves. 16 worker kills is insane. Unfortunately, Mixu just a little bit too late to wall off to react in time. And as we mentioned before, Zero, he's so much more comfortable here in game number 2. Game 1, Zero was playing from behind, almost from the beginning of the game. Here in game 2, we play from ahead, from a position of strength here. As Zero will force these roaches back. And again, because we open up Banshee, the roaches, they do nothing. They cannot harass across the map, they cannot push out, otherwise we're just going to bleed out too much or too many. Banshees, they dive into the main. 4 drone kills. Up. Going for even more in the main base as well. Oh, even forcing a cancel, getting another drone. 5 worker kills in total. You can see Mixu is stuck at home, and Zero, the downside here is that he didn't need to get damage done because of his late third, but the third is now on the way. Even looking to cancel the 4th. Oh, that's not a cancel, that's a kill on the 4th base. Ay, ay, ay. Again, Zero pulling Mixu apart a little bit here. And with that, Zero is getting ready for his eventual push. We can see Mixu rushing to an infestation pit. I like the idea of going into infestors. This could be one of 2 things. Into fast infestors or a fast hive. Right now, Mixu is a little bit behind. He's in a rough place. Mixu is in a rough place. And how do we bounce back? Infestors with fungals could be a good way. Otherwise, we could try to rush into hive tech, into vipers and adrenal. That could also work as well, but it takes a little bit longer. We'll see what Mixu goes for. We'll see what Mixu can get away with. As Zero is not pushing yet. just going for drop play. Thankfully for Mixu, it's just drop play. We're keeping our main army back at home. The tanks, the marines, the hellions, we're all just building up. But the eventual move out is going to hit like a truck. Is going to hit quite hard. Meanwhile, double drop moves out across the map. We're going for the hatchery once again. We're not going to get it. This time we will hold on. Hatchery does survive. Behind this is Zero still just building up, getting just 5 racks set up. 5 racks, his tanks are amassing as well. You have a Bailey Nest on the way. Interesting. So we're working from Roach Ravager into Ling Bane Roach Ravager. Plus on melee upgrades on the way. They're the infestors that we spoke about. I like this. Infestors are a good way, even if you're down in army supply, to take a really good fight. To trade very efficiently. It is more of a defensive unit. Like, if you're making infestors like this, you're hoping that the Terran player is going to be pushing into you. And we are. Here we go. Zero is moving out. Now, these 3 infestors will spawn in with 1 fungal each, and these fungals, they need to count. Massive Link counterattack here. Add to the 3rd base. Army is pushing, and Mixu just slip in. You manage to catch a couple of SCVs, but big tank values going up. 5 workers go down, and Lings, they do race back home. At the same time, main army pushing out. We do catch a Ravager. We caught a Ravager. We caught a couple of Roaches. Army's repositioning. Tanks have sieged. And boys, they have to be pulled away. We still on forward. We catch some of the Queens. Queen does fall. That's a kill on the 4th base once again. Fungal coming in, but a bit premature. We're committing. We get some okay Fungals. Wiles going to be connecting here with the tanks. 1 tank goes down. And we do retain the infestors. More importantly, again, the infestors did survive this. We're amassing more of an army. There's 1 tank left. No Banelings. Banelings just now on the way. Banelings are on the way. Zero continues his push. Clearing up a little creep. Oh my god. Calm down. Not quite committing yet. We can see Mixu thankfully has a backup 4th base, so is able to maintain his economy. But the creep is receding. The dangerous thing right now is that there's very little creep to work with, very little map vision and map control. And here come the reinforcements. It's a massive amount of bio. There's no bathing speed. But another tank goes down. Solid piles here from Mixu. Piles do connect. 2 tanks have arrived. We're looking for some Fungals, and we just need a little bit more time. Yeah, the Ling Bane having a hard time engaging. Piles do not connect. Barely out of range there. We get a panic Fungal. And Zero is looking to break through. Oh, a much better Fungal this time. Very nice Fungal. Medevac goes down to the piles. It looks like we have 1 Fungal left. Another tank will fall. But we're running out of Zerg. The Bio Army breaking through, getting us up with another Queen. Big Fungal! We connect! We barely connect, and Mixu barely holds on. Oh my god. Whew. We clean up the tanks. We force back the Bio Army. Mixu has held for now, but Zero's not stopping. Zero is still rallying everything across the map. He knows how close he is to breaking Mixu. And Mixu is up against the wall. Mixu, in a moment of desperation, going for a big Ling counterattack. It can find some reinforcements, can even find some tanks. The scary thing is, though, what do we have at home to defend? We have 5 Ultras on the way! Oh my god. Now, these are going to be vanilla Ultras. What I mean by that? No upgrades. No kindness plating, no Ultra speed. So these Ultras are not going to be ideal. Ling run by gets shut down. Banshees, they hit the 3rd base, and the army rotates over towards the 4th. And we needed more Ling Bane here. I mean, the Ultras make up for that, but the Ultras, they take time to spawn in. The Ultras do take time. Viper's on the way. Infestor is still all alive, gathering up energy. Ultras trickling on in. Kindness plating is seconds away from finishing. And can we buy time? Can we wait for kindness plating to kick in? I don't think we can. Yeah, we don't have the luxury. We have to commit. Oh, 1 tank goes down. Lings once again coming in for a surround. We're getting on top of the hatchery. 4th base under fire. Fungals are going to be connecting. Decent Fungals. And the Ultras, they reveal themselves. Another tank gets biled. I mean, these bots have been on point for Mixu. Ling counterattack. does force back some of the mining here at the third base. But the hatchery goes down. There's no saving a massive fungal. Oh my god! Massive fungal of the wild. We come back here and we clean this up. The tanks are saved. But now Mixu has momentum on his side. He's got ultras. He's got kindness plating. He's got lings. He has a backup fourth base. And now Zero's up against the wall. On the miles. Oof, not quite connecting. With our tank set up, with all these marauders as well, Zero can defend. We can see Mixu trying to rotate around towards the right-hand side. There's a planetary in position. The miles. Takes down another tank. Again, Mixu's been on point with his Ravagers. You know, for the most of the time, for most of these engagements, we're able to pick off tank after tank. Keep the tank count low. That means that these Ultras and Lings do have a better chance here at closing that distance, getting on top of the army. Only 2 tanks left. Banshee's moving out. Ooh, not much in position to defend. Drones will get picked off. Queens are rotating over. Yeah, we deny mining. Nice power bomb here on the Banshees. Let's go. Banshee's going down. Oh, the Ultra is going to get sniped. That was an expensive loss here for Mixu. Losses we cannot afford. We're getting on top of the tanks. But we have Ghosts. Yeah, the Ghosts are brutal. Yeah, no longer are the Ultras really going to be the game changer that they once were. We have Ghosts. We have Liberators. Ultras are getting caught out. They're being shut down. Yeah, there's no saving these Ultras. As they all do fall. We do get 15 SCVs, but how many Ultras was that? 9! That was 9 Ultras. Not worth it here for Mixu. That was a rough trade. On top of that, I believe we lost all the Infestors. Oh no, never mind. We still have 3 Infestors. Fungals would be amazing, but we need a ground army. We needed those 9 Ultras. Big rubber at the third. Fungals will be connecting, but very little follow-up. Tank gets shut down, going for the SCVs. Very nice in counter-attack. Another hatchery falls. Mixu never able, or struggling to take a 4th base, let alone a 5th. Drones are going down. We do manage to get a couple of SCVs across the map. And Zero is pulling back. I mean, given the game state, Zero, I feel like he just has to play defensively here. I mean, he's on even basis to the Zerg player, which is never a good thing for the Zerg. Bungle's coming in. Oh! We do catch the drop. Parasitic Bomb as well. But Mixu, he's desperately hurting here in the economy. Needs another base. Needs saturation. Doesn't need that saturation here. As we are forced to pull back. We can see Mixu triple expanding. He's trying to take top right and will attempt to saturate. It's a risky base to take, but it could pay off. Same time, Zero maneuvering around. Very limited crease spread here, so very limited vision. Mixu does not spot the army. Do we have any Infestors left over? We have 4. Okay, 4 Infestors. We have 1 Viper. With our Infestors, if we can avoid the EMPs, I want to believe that Mixu can take a fight. I do want to believe. We are lacking Lings, though. Yeah, this army is still looking quite fragile. There we go, 22 Lings in production. That will help. We need that buffer for the Ultras. Meanwhile, double jump on the right-hand side. Trying to catch the army. Massive snipes going off for the Ultras. We spoke about it. The Ultras on their own, they just crumble. That was what, 5 Ultras? Jeez, not 17 in total. That was 6 Ultras going down. The Lings, they arrived too late. Again, Ultras on their own, they just doesn't take too much to bring them down. They need support. Another Ultra falls. Expensive losses. Oh, nice mainly run by. Oh, not bad. Takes down the Planetary. Planetary does fall. At the same time, we have sniped another base. Oof. Ultra trickling in. Forcing a scan. And I wonder, Zero, has he realized what's going on? Yeah, he spotted the creep. He spotted that creep. Another, oh no! Not like this. The Ultras, they melt here before the Bio Army. Some rough trades. Top right base has been found. Zero now aware of the hatchery. Mixu trying to deny that CC once again. Ghosts are coming in. And big snipes going up. Another Ultra goes down. I mean, I'm impressed. I'm impressed that Mixu has been able to survive for this long, but honestly, for the past, I mean, it's been 17 minutes. For the past, I want to say like 15 minutes, like Mixu's been treading water. he's been like struggling to like keep his head above water and stay afloat. And he has been. It's been impressive because it's been so long, but unfortunately, momentum is something that he hasn't had all game. Infestor gets sniped. Second Infestor as well. Nice pick also by Zero. Top right end base goes down. Zero pulling back. Yeah, Zero has options here, and it looks like his reinforcements clean up the run by fourth base back up and running. Once again, a planetary. Mixu still committed to the Mass Ultra. Now, Mixu has established a fifth. Like, a fifth base is something that Mixu struggled with for a very, very long time, but now has some saturation here. Trying to take another base. Expanding towards the south at the same time, so is Zero. We do have potential with this Infestor. With some Fungals, we have yet to catch many Ghosts, unfortunately. Ghosts have been kept back. Put left is going to be denied. It's a cancel on the hatchery. Again, we're just denying any kind of sixth base here from Mixu. As Zero is still staying on an even base count. Mixu moving out. Does hit the bottom base. Will get the planetary. Yeah, repair's not enough. Zero out of position. The base will go down and we have to get the hell out of here. Oh, we can't stick around. We bleed out an Ultra. We do get away. Likewise, drop towards the left-hand side is caught. We're able to keep up with it. But one Ultra for a planetary, that was a better trade here for Mixu. And Zero has... Oh, losing those 16 SUVs is brutal. Zero, now no longer with an economy. Like, this base would have been huge for him to be able to maintain himself, but now Zero falls behind. 42 workers to the 59 drones of Mixu. That planetary going down was actually bigger than I thought initially. Zero, it may be wise to just lift the main over to take another base, as Mixu's maxing out. Finally, for the first time, Mixu has momentum. He's able to max out, getting into more Ultras. Zero hasn't been able to move out on the map for quite some time. He's been stuck at home. There we go. We're expanding towards the top right-hand corner of the map. Is taking top right. Hatchery under fire. CC being taken. And this time, for the first time, it's no longer just Ultra, right? This time we have Lings. We have a massive amount of Banelings as well. This time we have support. Mixu has been able to mass up an army. And now he's maxed out. And Zero, he needed that fifth base. And here we go. Mixu moving out, going for the third. Still has to be careful. Oh, as Vipers, they trickle in. 2 Vipers go down. Yeah, rough moment there for Mixu. Ling round by being shut down. The tanks are exposed. Zero out of position. Tank's going to be going down. Bailing's rolling in. We catch out the Ghosts. A very good fight here for Mixu. Doesn't have an answer for the Liberators, but he's going for the Ghosts. He's hunting them down. Okay, Ghost finally falling. Liberation Zone is going to be difficult to deal with, but we just race past it. We rush on through. Getting us over the planetary, getting us over the bases. Good snipes here from Zero. And Zero will hold. Zero does hold on. Oh my god. The Ultras, we overextend. A bit of an overextension there from Mixu, bleeding out all those ultras. And what did we achieve with that push? Now, Mixu did kill some ghosts. Quickly looking at the battle report here, we got 6 ghosts, we got 3 tanks, we got 10 SCVs, but it cost us 8 ultras. I would say that killing this base... No, we lose the infestors! Oh my god, the infestors going down. Sniping this bottom base was massive and a big win for Mixu. But the attack here was okay, but pushing in towards the planetary was a bit too much. Mixu being a little bit too cavalier. Now you can see the pendulum swing from one player to the other. Mixu doesn't have a large bank. It took Mixu a while to build up that Ling Bane Ultra army. And after losing it, what do we have left? What do we have left? We have 1 Roach, we have 1 Viper, 0 Ultras, 0 Banelings, only Lings. I wanted to believe that Mixu was bouncing back, and I mean, he was bouncing back. He had opportunity here. Lings doing what they can, forcing back 0. But 0, he snipes 1 hatchery, is going for another. Aye. And 2 bases going to be going down. Mixu still stuck on a low worker count, has taken the center base. Honestly, pretty important base here for Mixu. This base is keeping Mixu in this game. After losing 2 hatcheries, like this one bastion of hope here is sustaining Mixu. Leading run by towards the south, catching another tank, maybe even some ghosts. Oh, not quite. We're getting economic damage done. Again, these have been some desperation Ling run-bys, but I mean, we're trading well. Getting a ghost. We catch a ghost, we're going for more. Oh! Yeah, Lings, they go for the dive. They're going to surround on the ghosts. And we get one. We get 1 ghost and 1 tank. Trading minerals for gas. Mixu making the best out of his situation. 0 likewise has now established top right. And looking to establish bottom left. Speaking of top right though, Mixu has his eyes on this. Okay, we have 1 Ultra. Now soon to be 2 Ultras on the way. Let's go. Now in a head-on fight, I want to favor 0. Just because of the complexity of his army. I mean, he's been able to retain all his Liberators. His ghosts. But 0 is mainly focused towards the south. He's not ready here towards the north. Lings flood in. We yoink the lib. We're going for the planetary. And can we get the kill? It looks like we can. Planetary is barely up. Ooh, barely gonna go down. Again, 0 out of position. His entire army was here towards the south. He thought his base was secure. Mixu bringing 0 down into the mud with him. We're getting scrappy, papi. We're getting scrappy here. As 0 moving out towards the right-hand side. We'll catch a base. We spoke about how important this base was. Mixu has bottom left. Has taken another expansion. We have Massling coming in once again, finding another free tank. Tank goes down. 0 trying to keep up. Still a very close game. +3 finally on the way here for Mixu to try to catch up in those upgrades. And again, bottom left is mining. You can see Mixu is running out of resources. Here we have 3 patches even. At the linear third, we have a couple of patches here towards the north. This bottom left base is now sustaining Mixu. If these bases start going down, then Mixu is going to run out of steam. Likewise, 0 also needs his own planetary. Taking bottom left. This time, though, he's secure with Liberators and some army. It's not just a planetary on its own. But 0 is spread thin. Split up towards the north and south. I mean, again, this time at least he's split up between both bases instead of just one. We see Mixu double expanding. Power bombs here on the libs. 0 does find the base. Yeah, he had no idea. Now he goes for the middle line. Drones are being pulled. Workers are going down. Yeah, now 0 can focus his attention on this hatchery. He had no idea it was taken. Now he's aware of how important it is. And Liberator on the way. Limited anti-air, a lot of drones going down. 8, 9 workers. We have a bile. We have the one bile. Another base being taken. 0 gaining ground. Looking at the armies, we have 4 ultras and 6 infestors. We can fungal. This is still anyone's game. Still very tense. As we got 12 worker kills. Mixu down to 54 drones, but is re-establishing these top right bases. We have 2 more hatcheries on the way. More hatcheries are on the way. Meanwhile, Zero has established the southern nexus. His southern planetary, taking another base as well. You have to be careful. Some of the ghosts getting caught out. Oh, barely able to cloak. They do cloak in time. Big EMP. Oh my god! EMP on those infestors. The ghost that got out of there. One ghost did go down, but that was a nice moment for Zero. At the same time, Link's catching reinforcements. Oh my god, that's a lot of freedom. What's our anti-air? 3 Vipers. 3 Vipers and a handful of Ravagers. Well, these Liberators are going to be a big power spike here for Zero. Spire now on the way. Working towards Corruptors, but they're going to be 0-0. It's going to be 0-0 Corruptors. As the Viper! Once again, the Viper gets caught out. You see the Liberator here laying siege, denying any kind of mining, but now we have these center bases, or these northern bases. We are getting underway. As Mixu is going to be going for that dive. Fungal's not quite going to be connecting. Planetary trying to hold on, but the Ultras, they bring down the Planetary. 14 SCVs go down. Liberators, they did put in a lot of work. That was not a free trade there for Mixu, but did mainly cost him Ling Bane. Did retain those Ultras. The Ultras survive. We can transfuse. We can top ourselves up. At the same time, we're trading a base for a base. Center base goes down for Zero. Center base goes down for Mixu. But Mixu, he is expanding quite heavily here. Taking another hatchery, but it's spotted. No. It is spotted. It is going to be shut down. That's a kill, not a cancel. Scans the army, does spot it, gets the hell out of there. Yeah, Zero going for another base. This Planetary, not too impactful. There's no resources here left, really. Planetary going to go down. Zero pushing out towards top right. Oh, and these are rough losses for Mixu. These hatcheries, they're being shut down. Yeah, one after another, base after base, they are falling. Can we focus on the hatchery? Looks like, oh, we're a little bit distracted. The base will survive. But Mixu lost, what, 4 hatcheries for 1 Planetary. And we just re-land the orbital. I believe, okay, not yet the main. Main has yet to lift. Big snipes going up. EMPs as well. We EMP the infestors. A Fungal does connect just in time. Yeah, massive Fungal. The Ultras, they close the distance, and that was a lot of ghosts falling. How many ghosts do we have left? 5. 5 ghosts left. Ooh, Medevac goes down. Still a very tense moment here. We still have that 1 Viper. The infestors need time to regather energy, so there's no more Fungals. Not yet. I snipe on the center tower. Link's trickling in. But Mixu, once again, still has a base mining here in the center of the map. Still has saturation, can still sustain himself. Zero trying to hold on. I imagine Zero's going to want to try to fight for control of bottom left and take those expansions. We'll see if he can. Once again, rotating towards the right. I mean, again, these are where the mining bases are. Oh, Mixu does not spot this. Yeah, Hatchery's going to go down. The transfer, no! Pull away! We almost Maynarded over towards the right-hand side. Almost did Maynard. As a second Hatchery goes down, pulling back. Corruptors are on the way. Can we fungal the medics? That's so much supply! And the medics are so low! They're so low. Massive pickle. We catch the entire army. 1, 2, 3. Every medevac. Every medevac's going to be going down, and that's going to be game. The entire army of Zero caught out. The medevacs were so low. How much was that? 6 full medevacs. It's not even showing here, but 6 full medevacs. Oh my god. Zero plummets in supply. And Mixu is still going to bust into the main. Looks like Mixu has done it, pushing into the main base. Raxes are falling. We have some bio left over. Liberators coming in. But that was the moment that Mixu was looking for. Catching out so much of the army. Again, Zero, he has... how many medevacs left? One medevac remaining here with 0 energy. We barely have a fighting force. I mean, technically, if Zero is given time, then maybe he can rebuild. He is now taking bottom left, but Mixu should be able to close this out. I say that, bleeds out a couple of Corruptors. Has to be careful. Does have to take care. Does have to take care here. As Zero is looking to rebuild. Again, time is working a little... I was going to say a little bit in Zero's favor. I mean, to be fair, Mixu is still mining from top right? Now we're saturating this corner base. Drones are on the way. And now Zero has no drop potential after losing all those medevacs. And reinforcements are caught. Liberator is spotted. Corruptors can intercept. Speaking of, we just head here towards the south instead. We get 1, we get up, barely 2. 2 lives full. I mean, impressively, Zero is catching up in that supply. I mean, again, we couldn't quite push into the center base, but we can deny bottom left. It's a planetary, it's on his own. We cannot lift. Planetary falls. Alright, we do have a lot of infestors. Sorry, a lot of ghosts. Oh! Snipe is real. How many infestors left? 3. 3 infestors remaining. Can still lift the main if need be. We have another CC here on the right hand side. But Mixu does have a better economic situation here. Does have more crucial mining bases. Is actually mining through that center base. Not running out. Scanner reveals the army. Big snipes going up. The Corruptors going over the army are going to be thrown away. Oh my god! Mixu! Big misstep here as all the Corruptors are thrown away. And with that, the Liberator is going to be a little bit more secure. The drop play as well. This is still anyone's game, despite the catch earlier, which was massive. Ay, ay, ay. Zero is holding his own. Infestors lying in wait, looking for the fungals. Looking for the fungals, catching a couple of workers. Fungal coming in. Oh! And we do graze the army. We catch some of the bio. Snipes going off, but the massive amount of ultras are breaking through. Tanks, can they hold the line? Oh, they barely hold the line for a couple more seconds, but the army gets forced back. Not a bad fight for Mixu, does retain most of his ultras. Re-establishing these northern bases. Zero just unable to threaten them. Unable to this time. So does pull back. Once you've retaken the base. Hatchery under fire. How many ultras? Nice transfuse. 9 ultras for Mixu. They bust into the main base. Mixu trying to force a big reaction out of Zero. Trying to force the army to rotate. Slings get into the main. Starport goes down. Go for the Ghost Academy as well. Go for the Academy does catch fire, is barely going to survive. At the same time, Ultra's trying to catch any kind of reinforcements. And we do find a Ghost. Catch a Ghost. Slip into the Planetary. Yeah, Planetary goes down as well. Good pickoffs here by Mixu. Snipes going up. Ooh. Not quite taking down the Ultra. Ooh. Infestor is sniped. Not bad. Bit of a give and take. We get a base. We bleed out an Infestor. Ghosts are able to barely escape as well with that cloak. Only the one detection, only the one Overseer. Almost said Observer. Still a very tense moment. But I do think that these bases are a little bit more valuable for Mixu. He may have the bases, but doesn't have the drones to actually saturate them, so his economy is still not ideal. Not ideal. Zero has claimed control of bottom left. We can see Mixu rotating over in that direction for that Planetary. Zero a little bit further back. It looks like this space is going to go down. Yeah, Zero a little bit too far back to respond in time. Planetary does fall. Zero has potential. Did lose another base. Gonna be another base. We can see Mixu just backing off, rotating around. So we catch a couple of workers here with this Liberator. Being as annoying as possible. Catching 5 drones. Hitting top right. Mixu down to 30 workers. More denied mining time. Zero catches. Try to catch up in that supply. We're getting there. Do we have the Ghost Academy? We do. Okay, we still have it. Was rebuilt. Was rebuilt elsewhere. And there's still actually a lot of resources left here at this hatchery, which means if Zero takes control of this base, we can expand. We can keep going. Ultras once again pushing into the main, going for the production. One Ultra goes down. Army does respond. Infestor lying in wait. Where's the Fungal? There it is. Yeah, massive catch here on the Marauders. Marauders go down, but the Ghosts have arrived. Big snipes. Finally catching some of those Ultras. We have to respect those Ghosts. Oh, 13 SCVs go down. 13 SCVs do fall. We try to harass here this northern hatchery, but it's going to be cleaned up. CC being retaken. Does still feel like Mixu has the edge here just because of the bases, just because of the economy. Zero needs to get more done. Needs to somehow deny this base. Mixu rotates over, going for the center CC. No Planetary, not anymore. Now we force the lift. Zero does snipe the hatchery, does get a kill. There's still so much creep to work through. And limited scans. Scans are limited. Mixu trying to keep up. Planetary on the way. Sorry, orbital on the way. Ah, we do force a lift. Oof. Getting very low. Can we snipe it? It's close. The miles. Yeah, the miles, they connect and the base goes down. Link burrows in time. It's still so close between these two. How many ghosts are we working with? 12. 12 ghosts against 6 ultras. They're Bailings, handful of Lings. I mean, it comes down to the spellcasters, right? It comes down to the EMPs, the snipes, the fungal growths. Zero, he just ignores the army. Yeah, we're done. We ignore the army, we just send it across the map, papi. Going for these mining bases. Meanwhile, the CCs, they lift, they float over. Lings are wreaking havoc. Yeah, we're all in. It's all or nothing. We're done playing the slow game. We've run out of patience. Freedom zones have been set up. Hatchery is going to go down. At the same time, we have lost all of our economy. No more mining. No more economy. The CCs are all floating towards top right. Zero, he wants these bases. But again, it comes down to these fungals. Oh, can we snipe an infestor? Oh, we got one! There's still 3 left. 3 infestors do remain. All the CCs have lifted, so no scans. We need some scans, but there we go. Do need some of those scans. Massive power bombs here. No splits! And no on siege. Power bombs on the libs. Take a lot of damage. Scan does reveal one of those infestors. More CCs floating over. And we do end up catching a base. Corruptors, they come in to clean up. Where's the entire? Ah, the ghost out of position. Liberators are going down. Massive pickups. Only 1 Liberator left. Fungal. Oh, not ideal. We do pull back in time. That is a lot of infestors. EMP doesn't connect. 12 drones did fall. Mixu down to 20 workers. He has fully mined out of the center base. But top right, I mean, there's still 8 patches. Still patches left over. We right-click the base. Leading our Marines. Every unit counts right now. Every unit is so precious. And we have 6 infestors for Mixu. We have our Vipers as well. Like, we still have a lot of potential with this army to fungal, to abduct, to blinding cloud. Widow mines on the way. The Vipers, calm down. Coming in. Here, it all comes down to this. Base versus base. Right next to each other. We've given up on bottom left, but Mixu is taking a base. He is expanding. Trying to sneak out that hatchery. Oh, the miles! Down to Widow Mine. Fungal's connecting as well. Very nicely done. Ooh, trading resources for energy, essentially. Ghosts are moving forward. Again, the army supplies are neck and neck. The economies are neck and neck as well. Zero potential. True. As the hatchery's under fire, a couple more volleys. Ooh, do keep it alive. Snipe doesn't quite connect. The hatchery is very low. And we could try to dive on it. Meanwhile, bottom left, getting up and running. Black Zero also has his own base. This is costing us a lot of transfuse. lot of transfuse being spent on the hatchery. We have more Liberators amassing, more Widowmines amassing. I'm not too fond of the lid. Sorry, I'm not too fond of the Widowmines is what I meant to say. Liberators is good, but these Widowmines, we'll see how well they can perform. Oh, we're muling. We're stealing minerals. Let's go. Mine shot goes off. Mine does go down. And Zero doesn't really have the spare supply to go for a drop on the left-hand side. Mixu does have mining. Does have a full base. Likewise, we should be seeing Zero do the same, and yeah, lift up his CC, take top right as well. Broodlord's coming in. Okay, I was not quite expecting that. Let's go. Oh, can the mines pay for themselves? Up! Oh, catching some infestors. Not bad. Bow connects on the ghost. One ghost goes down. A tank as well. Bit of a give and take. And the infestor's quite low. Have to pull back. But this base is being taken. So you're running out of resources, but that still has that fresh mining base towards the bottom left. And can try to take some of these other southern bases where there isn't really much going on. There isn't really much left over, but every bit of mineral counts. Every mineral does count. Oh, calm down. Scan going up. Mixu pulling back. Mixu ready to dive in. That Broodlord kind of has been getting higher. 5, soon to be 7 Broodlords for Mixu. Goes. Oof. Quite getting the snipes they're looking for. And more Broodlord Infestor on the way. Yeah, they're going to do so well here in this game state. Bungle does connect. Can we catch some of the ghosts? Up! We can! 2 ghosts go down. You can see Thor production has commenced. It's going to take a while to get across the map, but Thors are coming. Are on the way. Meanwhile, we have 5, soon to be 8 Broodlords. Get some yoinks here on the ghosts. 1, 2 ghosts go down. And we're just picking away at the ghost army. The Broodlords bullying back the Terran. Getting another tank. Yeah, these are expensive losses. And Mixu, now it's his turn to be the more efficient player. Just out trading Zero, going for the CC. Going to be going down so close, so low. It's been a wild back and forth. It's been a roller coaster ride of emotions. First in favor of one player, then the other. But with these Broodlords, we're going to town. And massive fumble on the ghost as well. Yeah, the ultras, we just pull the trigger, we collapse on the army. But we have to be careful to overextend. Leading out some ultras, but the Broodlords, they're still standing strong. Thor has arrived. But Zero down to half of the army supply. Against Broodlord Infestor. Again, this bottom left base doing so well for Mixu to be able to afford this. Broodlords are just that key component that he was missing for so long. One more ultra going down. Infestor's waddling in. Oh. will in for a moment whilst they take down the CC. Yeah, the base should fall. And Zero, we're out of money. We're out of resources. Zero economy left here for Zero. See what I did there? I didn't even realize. We have some gas income, but no more minerals. I can't believe it's in 50 minutes, 53-minute game. My God, it flew by. I mean, it was very tense. It was a very tense game for so long. Very tense. Very back and forth. Yeah, we dive on top of the tanks, one after the other. Zero being forced further and further back. There's no escape. There's no way out of this. The fungals connect. Oof. And GG gets called as Mixu does, and he claws his way back into it. GG, well played after a wild start to the game, and Mixu takes the series 2-0. GG. Oh my God. GG, well played. I was hoping for an ace match. I was hoping we could make it to game 3. As a reminder, if you weren't here for the start of the game, it all started with Mixu losing 16 drones. He lost 16 workers, he lost map control, he was losing base after base, left and right. Mixu could not, he struggled so much to expand and take a 4th, let alone a 5th base. Like, it was just such a rough start for Mixu. And he was on the brink of defeat. Eventually, he was able to claw his way back into it, into the Mass Ultra. Did take some rough fights with the Ultras, but eventually was able to take down one of the most important mining bases of Zero. One of the most important mining bases. If you remember, the moment that the momentum started swinging in favor of Mixu was when Mixu took down the southern 5th base. I think it was the 5th base at the time, when he took down that southern nexus, when Zero was out of position, when the Ultras dove in, and they were able to shut it down and shut down 15 SCVs, and that was a big moment for Mixu, and Zero just wasn't able to. It was crazy, but it was crazy. GG, well played. Whew. And sorry, just messaging the players. Just messaging the players. Mixu messaging me. It was an experience, Papi. Wild. GG, well played. Mixu does take it in the end, and now we are getting ready for our next series. We're getting ready to follow Mixu into a ZVP. Do need a moment here to set that up, but it's going to be Mixu versus Mana in a Zerg versus Protoss matchup. We'll be following Mixu again. I'm a little bit bittersweet. I would have loved to have seen a game 3 between these two players and to have seen it go into the ace match. A shout out to Zero, of course, for having a wild performance there against Mixu. A wild performance. And congratulations to Mixu. My condolences to Zero as we head over to the European server. And I can take this moment to have a look at the bracket. We've been so engrossed in our series that I just have not looked at the bracket at all. Let's catch up. Let us try to catch up. Okay, sorry, I'm just catching up with the chat. What's with the no casters? What do you mean? I'm here. What are you talking about? The tank qualifier was huge. That was a big moment. Yeah. That was a lot. That was a lot that came into it. A lot that came in. Vetoes are underway, and let's have a look at the bracket. Let's catch up. Let's catch up what's been going on. Okay, from the top we have Dark. Dark took down Holden 2-0. Dark now up against the winner of Mana and Mixu in the next round. Oh, I actually didn't get a chance to update the tournament admin. Feels bad, man. Sorry, I was meant to. Hopefully we can let him know. Maybe after this. But hopefully we can get this updated. But again, Mixu is up against Mana. Winner goes up against Dark in the next round. So we're going to be following Mana and Mixu into Dark into the upper quarterfinals. Scrolling down, we have Cyan. Cyan took down Disrespect 2-0 up against the winner of Gref and Creator. Gref is a cannon rusher. Gref has cannon rushed some of these Koreans in the past. Most recently, Gref 2-1 Trap. He took down Trap in ESL. Was it ESL Asia or ESL Americas? It might have been Americas last week. But Gref recently took down Trap. So even though I favor Creator to make it all the way to the quarterfinals, Gref and Cyan, in PvPs, they pose a threat. They do pose a threat here to Creator, so do wish him the best. Scrolling down, we have Wayne. Wayne taking down Inexorable 2-0, and Wayne taking down Hero 2-0 as well. GG, very well played. Wayne can be a very aggressive player in the ZVP matchup. I imagine that series was a short one. I imagine there was some all-ins and maybe even some failed all-ins from Hero, but a big win for Wayne does bring him down 2-0. Congratulations. Is now waiting for the winner of Max Packs and Probe Scouts and Mutes as well. That's a lot of Protoss. It's most likely going to be a Protoss opponent. Probe Scout is another infamous cannon rusher. So we'll see how things turn out there between Probe Scout, Mute, and Max Packs. Max Packs going to be favored, but just like Creator earlier, there are chances here for these Protoss opponents to knock him down and to slip him up. Scrolling down, we have Bjorn. Bjorn takes down Nice 2-0. Bjorn advancing on into the quarterfinals to face off against either Nightmare or Estrella. Good to see Estrella. Estrella, he has been back on that grind as of late. And of course, Estrella is going to be competing this weekend in the SC2 Safe House. So best of luck to Estrella. I'm excited to see the state of play for our American Hope. Do wish him the best. Scrolling down, we have Skills versus Trigger in a PvP. Winner goes up against either Ryung or Solar. This was the other area of the map that I was, the area of the bracket that I was looking at. I was very tempted to go into Epic versus Creature into Ryung into Solar. Really good matches going on down there. I wish them all the best of luck as we are diving into our fresh best of 3. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Alkione, we have our blue Protoss player from land of Poland representing Team Liquid. It is Mana. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the Finnish Zerg player, the blue Zerg representing Berserker Esports. It is Mixu. Let's go. Again, Mixu just now coming out of a wild ZVT. It was a 53, 54, almost like 55-minute game between Mixu and Zero. Went the distance. And it was just a very, very scrappy game between the two of them. In the end, Mixu did come out on top. And we'll see if he can perform against a player of the caliber of Mana. Mana, likewise, has been on the rise as of late. These past couple of months, we've seen some better and better results out of Mana. I'm always reminded it was like 2 months ago. It was just before DreamHack Dallas where Mana took down a big game in ESL Open Cup Europe, for example. Like, Mana's been getting some surprising results in the PvP and PvT matchup, but what about PvZ? What about against Zerg players? I'm ready. I'm excited. Show us what you got. Show us what you got. As for now, Mana settling into his gate expanded to Cybercore. Meanwhile, Mixu back across the map, going for a Hatch Gas Pool standard opener himself. We're settling in. Again, there is a lot to go over when it comes to all those results in the current bracket state. Well, we'll get around to it. We'll get around to it, I'm sure. As for now, we're just easing our way into the ZVP. Nothing too crazy yet. As for now, we have our Stargate follow-up. Going to be Gate Expand into Cybercore, into the Stargate here for Mana. Should be for Oracles, but we'll keep an eye on Mana to see if he spices things up with a Void Ray opener, for example. Keep an eye on him. Meanwhile, Mixu likewise expanding, taking his third base, just running up, and looking to keep up with the Adept and Oracle aggression. do have our first adept moving out. We have a Stalker on the way, not a second adept for mana. Interesting. So it's not going to be as heavily reliant on these initial adepts moving out. Not really looking to get too much damage, just scouting, poking in. But the one adept on its own shouldn't really get too much done here. We do slip into the main base. We do manage to wall off in time. Oh my god. The drones are saved. The adept zoned away. And Mixu holds. Mixu does hold on. Meanwhile, there's that first unit of choice. Going to be an Oracle Opener here out of mana. Ling does confirm the third. And the first Oracle is moving out across the map. It's just going to be Oracle Harass. Again, we have cut Adept Production and Adept Aggression. So it's just going to be Oracles for the time being. And Mixu does have 2 Queens in the main, so we should be able to minimize our losses here. Getting 1 drone in the main, getting a second. Not quite, just the 1 drone. And mana is forced back. Does take a lot of hold damage for 1 worker, not worth it so far. Mana hoping for more damage. Meanwhile, across the map, do you see what I see? I see a Twilight Council, I see additional gateways. I do not see a Forge. This could be one of 2 things. Glaive Adepts have been quite trendy. You know, into fast Glaive Adepts have been quite trendy as of late. Otherwise, we could see a hero variation of a Blink Stalker. So fast Blink into a Blink Timing. And there it is. Blink is on the way. So the way this works is because we're rushing to Blink so quickly, because we're delaying upgrades in the Forge, we can be active as soon as possible. We can move out with a good amount of Stalkers. This can lead into a 3-base all-in where we skip out on gases and go up to 8 gates. So we'll keep an eye on the gateway count. Regardless, mana is going to be in the face of Mixu a little bit early on with those Blink Stalkers as we get into the natural. We bust on in. 1 Oracle goes down. We get 6 drone kills. I believe that is 7 worker kills in total for 1 Oracle. Pretty good trade for mana. He would have liked to have kept his Oracles alive, but again, 7 drone kills is not a bad trade. Mixu checks the 3rd base. Stalkers are now moving out. Now, what I'm a little bit concerned by is... Yeah, okay, there we go. I was going to say, because we lost an Oracle, this Stalker move out is actually a little bit risky, but that's why now we're making a 3rd. Making a 3rd Oracle here in response to losing an Oracle earlier to make sure these Stalkers have support. To make sure that we can sustain ourselves. Prism is on the way. Still only 4 gates, so we should be either expanding or taking extra gases to tech up. Mana is moving out, but is not all in by any means. Shield batteries on the way, probe moving out to expand. Mixu trying to get eyes on the linear 4th base, on the 4th on right hand side. Unable to find anything yet, moving out with his links towards the left. And Stalkers have arrived. But we can even force a cancel on the gold. And there's that cancel on the gold base. Rotating around, headed for the 4th. 10 roaches in production, but they're not ready yet. Queen's under fire. And so far, so good. No Stalkers have gone down. Lings are being cleaned up. We're getting on top of the Queens. Mana is breaking through. Mixu just a little bit too greedy as Queens are going down one after the other. And 3 Queens fall. We get a 4th Queen. We get a 5th Queen. And this is getting out of hand. This is getting far too out of hand, far too quickly. And mana has broken Mixu. Again, behind this, mana is expanding, working on +1 attack. Gateways are on the way as well. This push wasn't meant to kill, but it may just have. They're able to focus down even more roaches. Again, this is the power of the fast blink. We got so much done. Looking at the trades here, it was 4 Queens, it was 7 roaches, 4 Overlords. And we're not done. Remember, there's barely any creep here. And mana Stalker count has been building up over time. 4th base did take a lot of damage, but is still up and running. And leagues are being cleaned up. We're getting some of the roaches. Expensive losses for Mixu. And it may just be too much to handle here. Like, the dominoes have fallen one after the other. Mixu barely holding. across the map. Fourth base getting fully saturated. Charge now on the way. No additional gases yet. Mixu barely holds, at least keeps the base alive. As the fourth. And with this thing run by, what can we get done? We can even... Okay. I was like, can we go for the base? Can we get the Nexus? Not quite. Does survive. Does hold on. Oh, as more queens are going down. Going for the base! Okay, going for the fourth hatchery. Mixu knocked down to 3 bases. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, Mixu's not out of the woods yet. Nowhere near. Mixu going for a desperation counterattack, hoping to force a recall. But the supply block is real, catching so many overlords. 3, 4, 5, 6 more overlords going down. Mixu going for the counterattack. We have the overcharge. We have the recall. The Nexus does fall, but we clean up every single Ravager. Expensive loss here for Mixu. Losing everything. And again, the base counts are even. Mana with a better economy, with now a better and larger army. Incorporating Immortals. Charges finishing up as well. And Mixu is in trouble. Mixu is in trouble. As the Stalkers, they dive out 4. They catch 2 more of these queens. Queens do go down. And remember, we lost all of our Ravagers earlier. There's 1 Ravager left. Oracles activate the Pulsar Beam. And the Blink Stalker army, it's getting out of hand. It's snowballing out of control. And Mixu just doesn't have enough. GG gets called, and Mana takes game number 1. Whew. GG. A solid game there from Mana. Again, that earlier Twilight Council, the earlier Blink timing did catch Mixu off guard. And again, it wasn't an all-in, but it did a surprising amount of damage. It caught, what was it, 4 queens to begin with. It caught 7 roaches. Just early on, the momentum was in favor of Mana. And these were just expensive losses. Just too many expensive losses early on for Mixu. He just could not recover from that. Could not keep up. And did fall and stay behind there. GG with that. Mana takes the lead. And we're diving into game number 2. Let's go. Let us go. See in chat, how does hosting this tournament work? ESL organize the events. ESL, they do have admins. They have a team of admins at their disposal, which they do rotate between or incorporate in ESL Open Cup Europe, Korea, and Europe, Asia, and Americas. There are different admins for each event, and of course they do run the event themselves, and they do have a selected amount of casters that are able to cover them, like ourselves, you know, Wardy, Steadfast, Artosis, Pig, and many others, Dave Testa, Chicken Man. Plenty of coverage going on, I'm sure. And we all kind of do our best to spread out. We do our best to avoid each other for the most part, to cover as much ground as possible, to cast as many matches as possible, and then eventually we all meet up in the semifinals and the grand finals thereafter. But for now, we're diving into game number 2, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our Polish Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Team Liquid, leading the series 1-0. It is Mana. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Finnish Zerg player, the blue Zerg representing Berserker Esports. It is Mixu. Let us go. But yeah, the ESL Open Cups, they've been running for many years at this point, ever since the beginning of the ESL Pro Tour. That would have been beginning of 2020. So 4 years, over 4 years of ESL Open Cups. You do love to see it. That's a lot of StarCraft, a lot of ESL Open Cups. Much love to ESL for hosting this, for running it, making sure it goes as smoothly as possible. Likewise, we do our best as well. Yeah, we've been casting ESL Open Cup since its inception, since the very beginning. Way back when. Originally, we only casted ESL Asia, then like after a couple of months, we started covering ESL Americas as well. There have been some weeks where we have missed things just because, you know, of other events or other tournaments or traveling. But for the most part, we've been consistent. We've been there, Pappy. We've been there. Always. As we are settling in. Again, Mixu going for a Hatch Gas Pool. Standard opener out of our Zerg player. Mana likewise going for a Stargate opener back at home. And we'll see if Mana does mix things up again. We shall see if Mana does decide to go for another Fast Pilot Cancel into Blink. I'm not too fond of that though. In general, when it comes to these more unorthodox builds, I'm not too fond of relying on them multiple times in a series, as we're going for a Ling Flood. We're cutting workers early on. We have Lings on the way. They're flooding across the map one way or another. The game is about to end. The wall's on the wall. The wall is wide open. Lings, they do threaten that. The boys are being pulled. Second attempt has made it back home. We try to get this around. The Lings are being cleaned up. So far, good defense out of Mana, but probes are falling. Probes are falling, but we do fully wall off. And Mixu, he's still flooding Lings. Mixu is still rallying. Nothing but Lings across the map. Again, one way or another. Either Mixu kills Mana or he dies trying. As Mixu did cut workers at 20. Still more Lings flooding on out. The wall is solid. Again, Mana, he's somewhat aware of what's been happening. Oracle's being sent out across the map. A solid wall. We have 3 adepts. Wargrade's still not done. And there's no Banelings with this. It's just purely a Ling Flood. As the Oracle does confirm the lack of saturation. Not just that, but we even punish it a little bit. So 2 drones go down. Dipping them into the main, getting a 3rd, getting not quite a 4th. But 3 drones will fall. Mixu still rallying across the map. We're going to be flooding across the map here. And from now, Mixu's droning. Now Mixu, it looks like he's recognized he cannot end the game. The Lings have been spotted, yeah. Lings have been spotted as well, and trying to transition out of this was not going to work. The all-in fails, and Mana takes the series. GG. GG, well played. Mixu, he cut workers at 20, he went mass Ling, and trying to drone out of that is almost impossible at this level of play, where you expect your opponent to be miles ahead. Mana was ahead there, and again, Mixu, he just did not get enough damage done. He was unable to break through the Adept. He was unable to catch Mana off guard, unable to bust into the mineral line, into the natural. The defense was just too solid at GG. Congratulations to Mana, as he does take the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations. With that, Mana does advance on. And we are getting ready for our PvZ. Let's go. Just updating our lovely admins with what has been going on. And we have our next series. We have our next series. We have our next opponent. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. The bracket still needs to be updated, but we have let the admins know, so they can get that underway. As we get ready for our next PvZ from the very top, Dark has been patiently waiting. Dark has been patiently waiting here for his next opponent, and we have our opponent. We have our player. It's gonna be Mana. Mana versus Dark. Coming up next here on the channel. So another PvZ. Scrolling down, we have some other updates as well. We'll just need a moment to set things up on our end. We'll just need a moment here. Okay, scrolling on down. We do have Cyan. Cyan versus Creator. Creator took down Gref 2-0. Creator, he survived the cannons. He survives the cannon rush. Creator advances on against Cyan. That could still go either way. Creator is favored, but Cyan has brought players like Creator down before. So wish them both the best of luck in that PvP. Winner goes up against the winner of Dark and Mana. And again, we're focusing on this upper portion of the brackets here on the CranKy Ducklings. That's where our cast is going to be focused. Scrolling down, we have... Oh, okay. Looks like we had a misreport earlier. If you remember, we saw that Wayne had 2-0'd Hero, but it looks like that was misreported, and it has been corrected. Hero took down Wayne 2-1. Okay, so looks like maybe there was some misreporting, or maybe just a bit of a mistake that was made. But GG, well played. Hero does take it and does advance onto the quarterfinals, waiting for the winner of Max Pax and Mute. Mute takes down Probe Scout. That is impressive. That is wild. Probe Scout is a pretty solid player, and I'm unfamiliar with Mute. Wait, hold on. Who is Mute? He 2-1 Foxer, and he 2-0'd Probe Scout. This is not... I'm unfamiliar. Like, I'm pretty familiar with Peruvian players, as, you know, my region. But... yeah, I don't know who Mute is. So for Mute to bring down Foxer and Probe Scout, that is notable. That is notable. Hold on. I'm just trying to look him up a little bit. Yeah, I can't really find too much information about him, but Mute, you have my attention. Interesting. It looks like he's 5.7k on NA. He's on New Angels, which is a Peruvian team. Is that someone else? Interesting. This might be... it's a Protoss player. This might be Tiratuga. This might be Alexander. I would not be surprised if it is. For those that remember, Alexander is a Peruvian Protoss player. He's pretty good, but he name changed a couple of times. I think he went from Tiratuga to Alexander to something else. He has name changed over the past couple of years, so I'm going to make the assumption that that's who this is. I'm assuming that Mute is Alexander, but I would love to confirm. Definitely piques my interest here, this Peruvian player. Is going up against Max Pax, and Max Pax is favored, but yeah, you have my attention, Papi. We'll keep an eye on him in the coming weeks. Scrolling down, Bjorn takes down Nice 2-0. Bjorn waiting for either Nightmare or Estrella. Still no updates there. Still no major updates. Scrolling down, Trigger takes down Skillus. Oh my god, that's a big win. I would have favored Skillus in that PvP, but Trigger, he is definitely in form and does bring down Skillus 2-1. It went to the ace match, went all the way to game 3, but Trigger does come out victorious there. My condolences to Skillus. Get some rest, Papi. Get some rest, as we are. I know it's quite late in Europe. Quite late. Solo takes out Ryang 2-0, and Solo is up against Trigger in the lower quarterfinals. Meanwhile, we have our next series. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alkyone, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Dragon Kai. My apologies, I'm getting ahead of myself. Representing Talon Esports, it is Dark. DKZ doesn't even exist anymore. Smoge. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Polish Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Team Liquid. It is Mana. Now catching up. I'm catching up here. Mixu. Hold on, less than 3. Less than 3, Papi. Mixu did dip in earlier. And Dark, oh my god, we are moving out with our drone across the map. Typically, we've seen Dark take the goal base here on this map, but no, we're looking to spice things up even further. We are going for a proxy hatch. Let's go. We're going out, moving out with that proxy hatch across the map towards the natural base. Mana is not quite in position to try and deny this, so the hatchery is going to be going down. Probe gets sent down to the low ground, and the hatchery is going to be placed. Is here. Now, the goal of this is to get some economic damage done. There we go. Boys are being pulled. It is going to be 6 probes here for Mana. and they're not going to be mining. You know, we have 6 workers off the line, not mining. This is some good damage dealt by Dark. Dark will be canceling this. He will not commit. His goal here is not to go all in. It is to get ahead economically as he expands back at home. Again, Dark is very fond of going proxy hatch whenever he can, and will be able to take that earlier lead. Likewise, he's going to be delaying Mana's expansion for so long as well, keeping Mana on one base. There we go, we force a cancel. Drone skirting into the main. Oh god! Ooh, as we are 1 shot away from going down. We're looking for that gas geyser. It looks like, oh, can we get there? Can we get to the gas? The probe is pulled and the drone is denied. We zone the worker away. The gas geyser is kept safe, and the drone is eventually going to be shut down. Meanwhile, Dark is still going for the gold. If you remember, I spoke about how Dark likes going for the gold on this map. I assumed he wouldn't after the proxy hatch, but no, the third base is still at the gold. Dark being very cheeky this game against Mana. Let's go. Can you follow Creator, Papi? We might be able to cast Creator after this series. Potentially, it's going to be Creator versus the winner of this PVZ. As Mana is looking to slip in. Mana, yet to confirm, does scout the 2 third base locations, but has not checked the gold. And Mana's in the dark. Or in Dark's main. As we do manage to get a couple of workers, 2 drones going down. Pretty nice damage here from Mana. Does join forces with the other Adept. You can see here is checking for the third bases, has yet to confirm the gold. As back at home, Mana is working towards that Stargate, towards Oracle production. The Overlord will confirm this. As Dark zips into the main. And you can see Mana, he keeps checking, he's looking for the third. He's like, oh, what's going on? Something's wrong. If you don't have a third, you should have gases, maybe a Roach Warren, maybe something else. And there we go. Now Mana gets eyes on this. Now we realize what's been going on. The gold base is revealed. And thankfully, because of these adepts, we're not able to mine quite yet. Oh, Dark has to be careful. Oracle's on the way. Spore in production. Link speed kicks in. And we get eyes on the Oracle. Dark does react in time. Oh my god. Yeah, forcing out a Spore. The Oracle going straight for the Queen, and we'll get a kill. The Queen does go down. And 2 more drones as well. Very nice control here from Mana. Getting a Queen, getting 2 drones. And does keep the Oracle alive, just barely. At the same time, Mana attempts to take his own third, but Lings are in position. And Lings will delay. Will delay the third base. Getting on top of the probe. Second Oracle has arrived. Dark just trying to spread creep, trying to get on top of this third base. Keep it safe and sound from the Oracle harass as we're settling in. So Dark on 3 bases, now even taking a 4th. Just rushing to the 4th at this point. Limited gas mining. Just pure minerals, pure economy. And Mana back at home. His third base was delayed, so was his natural. So it's been a bit of a shaky game for Mana. And where are we going? Oracle into charge lots. Okay. +1 is on the way. Charge is on the way here for Mana. Very interesting, much more unorthodox. You know, typically we're going to be seeing +1, Blink Stalker, but no charge lots and potentially Archons as well. No Temple Archives yet. We'll keep an eye out. We'll keep an eye on Mana for any kind of tech switch into Mass Immortal or Mass Archon. For now, just banking up Zealots behind the mineral line. Mana hoping to catch Dark off guard. And this Roach Warren is late. This is a, what, almost 6-minute Roach Warren timing. Which means Roaches will not be available for the push. Only Lings and Queens. Which is going to be ideal for Mana. Yeah, the massive Zealot army, we're going. We're sending it. Charge is done. +1 is finishing up as well. At the same time, Lings will hit the third. And Mana. Do we care? No, we don't care. I mean, we do, but the Oracles defend. The Zealots are revealed. And we're sending everything across the map. And can we punish this goal base? Lings are amassing. Roach Warren just finished. but 0 roaches to defend. Good position here for these zealots. Ooh, drones going down. 3 so far. Link's trying to engage. And we have 10 roaches in production. We get a surround. A good surround here from Dark. Cleans up these zealots. At the same time, drones are getting picked up, but not too many. Yeah, very nice defense so far. More zealots have arrived. Queen's going ham on the oracles. As they do throw them away. Zealots are gaining ground, but roaches have arrived. The longer this goes on, the better it is for Dark. Does pull back to the safety of this mineral line. Roaches have arrived. They're pushing in. And we clean this up. This zealot timing needs to get more done. Considering how late or how delayed our expansions and economy has been. What did we get? We got a lot of lings, 52 lings, 10 drones. But we wanted more. And now Dark is going for a massive counter-attack. What do we have to defend? Nothing. No shield batteries are still in the way. Zelta warping in. Double robo for double immortal production, but we need more time. And the robos are exposed. The robos are exposed. Decent kiting here by Dark, but the Zelt's going to be able to get on top of this. The Artosis pylon! No shot! The pylon goes down. GG gets called. There is no immortal production, and Dark will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Dark, able to counterattack, able to defend quite well, very nicely against the initial Zealot attack, and then punish it. Again, we were so committed with that initial Zealot wave, we needed to get more damage done. We got, if you remember, 1 Roach, we got 10 drones throughout the course of the game. We needed more. Alas, Dark, he got away with his build, with his economy, with his goal base, with the delayed Roach Warren. And it all led into that, of course, counterattack. And now Dark takes a lead. Dark takes a lead in the series. Oh. We'll see if Mana can bounce back. We shall see. Again, a lot of what happened in Game 1 as well was very map dependent, right? Like loading into Alkioneval maps. The goal base is a big factor in that. As we are settling into game number 2, going to be on Oceanborn. No goal bases. No gold bases here on Oceanborn. Is a little bit more by the book. I say a little bit more. 3-base all-ins are quite common and popular on Oceanborn from both sides, so I'm curious how aggressive our players want to be, or if we head into a longer macro game. I'm here to find out. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Talon Esports, leading the series 1-0. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Blue Protoss player from the land of Poland, representing Team Liquid. Down in this series, can we bounce back? It is Mana. Here we go. Just catching up. Can you cast Bjorn? We might cast Bjorn later on, but I was mentioning before that usually whenever we cast a tournament like this, we pick a section of the bracket and we stick to it, just because, like, you know, narratively, story-wise, like, it's a little bit more cohesive to follow a player throughout the broadcast and not, like, jump around. So we started with Mixu versus Zero, into Mana, into Dark, and into Creator in the next, or most likely Creator in the next series. But we're sticking to the upper portion of the bracket. So we might cast Beyond later on, but that depends on how the bracket shapes up. So I do apologize if you're looking for some Beyond content. We might catch him later. Otherwise, I'm sure he's being casted by some of the other casters out there. You know, you got Pig, you got Artosis, you got Steadfast, you got I think I saw Dave Testa earlier. There's a lot of coverage. A lot of coverage, and I'm sure someone has Beyond. I'm sure. I hope so. I hope someone's following that. For now, we're focusing on the upper half of the bracket instead, and we are selling in. This time, Hatch Gas Pool, standard opener here out of Dark. This time, there is no proxy hatch. This time, Mana will have a much more comfortable start in Game 2. A much more comfortable start here for the Protoss player. Dark forcing the unnatural natural, which can be a little bit annoying to deal with, but at this point, I'm sure Dark is comfortable and a lot more experienced with this, so shouldn't be too much of an issue, as we are just droning up and getting into our queens. Meanwhile, soon to throw down our tech of choice for mana. Our pylon is throwing down a little bit closer here to the mineral and gas, so it's a bit of a more efficient pylon in the sense that we can go back to mining a little bit faster, and it's going to be another Stargate opener. Okay, Stargate for mana. So far, we've seen Oracle openers have been quite common for mana. We've yet to see a Void Ray opener. It's still on the table, still possible, but most likely going to be an Oracle here. Most likely. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on mana. We'll keep an eye on him. As across the map, mana does delay the third base with the pylon. It is going to be cancelled. Third will now be on the way, but again, it was delayed by a couple of seconds, so a nice move there from mana. Ideally, the goal is if the third base is delayed a little bit longer, if the pylon survives a little bit longer as well, then the Adept gets there in time to focus down the drone and to cause a more massive delay. As we saw, the pylon was cancelled and the Adept a little bit too late. And we have our unit of choice. It is going to be the Oracle. So going to be an Oracle opener here from mana. Once again, looking to harass across the map, keep tabs on Dark, and try to find some economic damage. Scrolling up, I saw someone else ask something. Do you guys get paid for casting? We have been paid for casting before, like when I was casting like ANZ Champs at the ESL studio in Sydney. I was casted for that. We've been paid for being the B stream for DreamHack before as well. But it's been a while. It's been a couple of years actually since we've been the B stream for DreamHack. Nowadays we're usually like a C or D stream, which we aren't paid for. So it's been a while. But usually it's like big events like that. It's like we don't get paid for open weekly tournaments like this. The main bulk of our income nowadays is from, you know, Twitch and YouTube donations, subscriptions, Patreon. Well, which Patreon leads into our tournaments, less so to us. But yeah, just as a heads up. But for now, we're settling into this. Our Oracles, we got 3 drones earlier. Now we're going to be threatening a dive into the natural. Adepts likewise working towards the third base as well. Dark, can we keep up as we shade into the natural base? Lings, they're in position. We can shut down the Adepts. We do manage to get 2 drones. 2 drones so far, but only 2 workers for how many Adepts? Oof. That was 2 drones for 3 Adepts. Not a worthwhile trade here for mana. The Oracles were zoned away. The Oracles are quite low. And back at home, mana is working on that next step, transitioning into a Twilight Council +1, Forge, Gateways. As Mana's looking to settle into the mid-game, we have an Nidus Worm. We have an all-in. Remember earlier how I said that it's very popular on Oceanborn to go for 3 base all-ins? That's happening here. It's going to be a Ling Queen Nidus all-in out of Dark. He does get us around. There's no shield battery. No shield battery. No overcharge of Stalkers. They're caught out and they're shut down. Every Stalker will fall. The third base is under fire. And we're flooding more Lings across the map. And it's not just Lings, it's Queens as well. Again, the Nidus Worm is about to finish Queens. They're diving in. And the Nidus Worm is on the way. Mana in a lot of trouble right now. Again, there's no shield batteries ready for this. Very little to defend. Blink not quite done either. Mana needs more time. Nidus Worm finishes. Queens swap out. They focus down the Oracles. And the Oracles are going down one after the other. Shield batteries they will not finish. As we do collapse on top of them, forcing the cancel. And Mana is up against the wall. We have 1 Stalker left. 1 Stalker remaining. Queen just walling on forward, getting himself with the shield batteries once again. And the third base is going to go down. Now, can we break the natural? That is now the question. As the third base is a foregone conclusion, we're going for Spines. Oh my god. Dark, calm down. Spine Crawler's on the way. He does want to break the base. Looking to lay siege upon that natural. Shield batteries are finishing up. Blink is now done for Mana. We have the Bay on the way for Colossus or Disruptors. That will help. The Queen's taking a lot of damage back at home. Dark, he did just drone. He droned up. He's taking up into an Infestation Pit, into Roach Warren. More drones on the way. Again, Mark, Dark, he's crazy. Pushing forward onto Mana. Spine Crawlers are waddling on forward. Getting within range of the wall. We are bleeding out some Queens. These are some brutal losses here for Dark. But the Spine Crawlers are getting within range and they're knocking down the wall, the gateway, the Cybercore. They are under fire. More cannons being thrown down. Colossus on the way. And remember, behind this, Dark is droning. Behind this, Dark, he's chilling. He's droning up, taking gases, working towards Roach Ravager. Working towards Hive Tech because the Infestation Pit is done. As the Cybercore goes down, at the same time, we do have Mana moving in with a drop. Moving in with slow lots. It will force a reaction from Dark. Overcharge is popped. Dark racing back home. The Prism, no! Our Prism gets shut down. We deny the warp in. We do manage to get a Queen and 3 drones. That's not bad, but not quite worth a Warp Prism. And the other annoying thing here is that Mana, even though he's working his way through all these Spine Crawlers and he does defend, look at all the creep. Without detection, there's no expanding. There's no taking the third base. As Dark has been spreading creep backwards from across the map. Observers on the way. Mana still stuck on 2 bases. Dark is still happily droning. There's that Hive. Oh, there's the Hive now in production. That should be for Viper production. Creep is being cleaned up. Eventually we will expand. And Colossus can be a really powerful unit here in this army, or in this kind of matchup. But that's what the Vipers are for. To abduct, to yoink. To bring down those Colossus. Or Immortals, or Disruptors, any kind of high-tech unit. Infestors have arrived with their Fungals. Mana rotating over towards the right-hand side. And there is limited creep spread here for Dark. So we could try to push in. We do have Blink, but Mana has to be very careful with his army, with his movement. As we're looking to lock this down. Yeah, the Fungal does connect. Yeah, we lock down the army, or at least the Colossus. Nice juggling though out of Mana. Juggling is nice, but oh my god, it's still not good enough. GG gets caught. We collapse on top of the Stalkers. We crush the army. And Dark takes the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Dark as just take the series 2-0. My condolences to Mana. It was a very intense series. Dark popping off in game 1, going for the proxy hatch into the gold base. Here, Dark going for the 3-base Link Queen all in. Had the 4th base for Larva, but again, just doubled down with purely Link Queen and did break Mana. Did not kill the natural, only the 3rd base, but contained him and was able to drone up from there and work on that next step. Ready for the eventual move out. GG, well played. And with that, Dark does advance on into the quarterfinals, I believe. And who is lying in wait? Who is waiting for him in that quarterfinals? Exclamation mark B in the chat. Let's find out. As we quickly do refresh the brackets from the top. Let's go. Oh, we have our series. We have our series. We will most likely be heading over to the Korean server. Yep, we're heading over to Korea. As up next is indeed going to be Dark versus Creator. 1 minute. Oh, Creator, he's on a new team. Can I remember it off memory? It is Black International, right? Am I crazy? Black International Gaming? Is that Creator's new team? Let's double check. Dark. Just messaging our players, making sure we don't get behind. And scrolling down, Creator is on Blacklist. Oh my god, I was close. You can see that I wrote it down there. I wrote Black International Gaming. It's a Blacklist International. Almost. Hold on. Blacklist International. Yeah, I got most of the way there. But yes, for those that are curious, Creator, he joined a new team. It was the day of DreamHack. The day of DreamHack Dallas, which was now a week ago, just over a week ago. Creator did leave Club NV and joined a new team. So I do appreciate that he does have the support that he does deserve. Do appreciate it. But let's catch up on the rest of the brackets. Okay, from the top, we have, of course, Dark vs. Creator in the upper quarterfinals. Scrolling down, we have a PvP between Hero and MaxPax. MaxPax did take down Mute 2-0 up against Hero. Honestly, that's going to be a banger of a PvP. It's always fun whenever Hero and MaxPax face off against each other. I'm assuming it's going to be a PvP. What do I mean by that? If you were here last week, you would have seen us cast Kung Fu Cup, the KFC, the Kung Fu Cup number 5. And Hero and MaxPax, they faced off in the finals. It was a best of 5 grand finals, and Hero made the decision to play Terran. Hero, he played Terran against MaxPax. MaxPax did win in the end. Hero was trying nothing but all-ins, just varying different kinds of like Terran-based all-ins against MaxPax. Did not work out in the end. We saw a lot of proxies, a lot of boys being pulled. MaxPax did weather the storm and did punish Hero. So because of that, is Hero going to off-race again and play Terran again, or does he play Protoss? I mean, we'll find out, I guess. We won't be casting that, so I'm sure that's going to be covered by some of the other casters out there, I hope. Scrolling down, we have Beyond vs. Nightmare still ongoing. Nightmare did take down Estrella 2-0. Again, Nightmare did come in as the favorite player. Nightmare is a beast in PvP. Up against anyone, Nightmare has a good chance. Even up against Hero and MaxPax, Nightmare does pose a threat in the PvP matchup. Likewise in PvT, I think I favor Nightmare there. Nightmare has some of the best PvT in South Korea. Like, he has his way with Byun and Cure on a more and more regular basis nowadays. So that's going to be a close one. I would not be surprised if Byun vs. Nightmare goes to the ace match. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Wish them both the best of luck. Scrolling down, we have Solar vs. Trigger still ongoing. Still ongoing as well. Still mid-series. Do wish them both the best of luck there. I mean, Trigger, he has already achieved so much, bringing down Skilless. Now up against Solar. We'll see how they perform. We shall see. Is it diving in? Diving into game number 1. Cephas is casting Beyond. There you go. There you go. They got you covered. Meanwhile, we're diving into our PvZ. Game 1 going to be on Ghost River, a very interesting map. One of the smaller maps in the map pool. Very aggressive, known for its aggression. I am excited. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ghost River, we have our South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Talon Esports. It is Dark. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean and Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Blacklist International. It is Creator. There we go. Oh, as we are settling in, again, Dark known for his aggression in this matchup, and I feel like we really got to embrace a very Dark series against Mana, where game 1 we saw Dark rush into the gold and survive the Zelda aggression of Mana. We saw in game 2 Dark go for a 3-base Link Queen, Nidus all in. How does he approach Creator then? Again, Creator, he's part of the same region of Dark. They're both from South Korea, a lot more familiar with Dark as well. And Creator, I feel like he's known for his mid-game. He's known for his mid-game, known for more defensive openers as well. I have attributed Creator to be a little bit more akin like Showtime in the ZVP matchup. A little bit more macro-oriented. But we'll see. We shall see. As for now, Dark is forced to take the unnatural natural. Likewise, Creator going for the gate expand into Cybercore. Nothing too crazy yet. Really, my eyes are on the tech of choice, whether we go Stargate or Twilight Council. And even if we open up Stargate, I'm curious as to when the Twilight Council is going to be thrown down behind it to get a read on how aggressive Creator wants to be. We've seen a lot of 8-gate all-ins here on this map. We've seen Nightmare and Hero be very fond of it. I haven't been able to cast enough of Creator these past couple of months to get a read on what he enjoys in this matchup. I know for a long time he was very fond of playing this this slower robo-heavy composition, like into Immortal Chargelot, into Archon with Storm, or into double robo Colossus production. Creator was very fond of that, especially end of last year and beginning of 2024, like end of 2023. But nowadays, the meta has shifted, the map pool is different, and I'm excited. I want to see. But now, there it is, a Twilight Council opener. Okay, so a much more aggressive start here from Creator. And again, we expect aggression on Ghost River. It's going to be Twilight Council, whether it's a Glaive build or DTs, yet to be determined, as we have not pulled out of gas. Lings are being chased down, Dark is expanding, taking his third base, droning up for the time being. Overlord outside the natural, and we have not pulled out of gas. Okay, this looks like a Dark Shrine opener. I'm curious. Show us that Dark Shrine. Show us the tech. Again, if this were to be Glaive Adepts, we would have pulled out of these gas geysers. Robo is a little bit later, though. Again, we're waiting for that tech of choice. There it is. There is the Dark Shrine. It has been thrown down. So this is going to be a DT opener. Now with the DT opener, it is not all in. It is designed to get the economic damage done. And then we can go for an Archon drop thereafter and get into the mid game and expand, take a third base. Meanwhile, back at home, we have a very early Roach Warren. This is a 3-minute 30 Roach Warren. Oh my god, this is very early here for Dark. Now, this is designed to keep us safe against something like Glaive Adepts. Not just keep us safe against Glaive Adepts, but also counterattack as well. So we're going to have a lot of Roaches early on. So Dark playing this out very safely. Did get eyes on the timing of the Warp Gate. This Warp Gate is finishing up. Dark is just going to be getting ready here back at home. Roach Warren will finish. Roach is now already on the way. But I don't see any detection. I don't see any spores. Dark, he may just assume that it's going to be Glaive Adepts, and this is what I love out of Creator, is that he reveals Adepts. He reveals these initial Adepts, selling the story that it is Glaives, when it's anything but. We have one spore on the way at the third. Ooh, the Prism is exposed. We have to pull back. We have a spore on the way in the main as well, so we will have detection. First DT is waddling in, but only one DT. Yeah, Dark does realize we have more spores on the way. We have detection. Dark has defend. We just see Creator poking around and getting a tumor, expanding back at home, taking his third. Adepts are in position. More DTs on the way. This should be for Archon production. There we go. Archons are on the way. But so far, this opener has been a little bit lackluster. So far, we haven't achieved too much. We got a tumor, we forced a reaction. True. We do need to get some damage done. We need to pick off some workers, overlords, queens. Speaking of, first overlord goes down. Nice pickup. Meanwhile, Dark isn't droning. Remember earlier how I spoke about how because of the early Roach Warren, we can go for a big counterattack? That's happening. Dark, he's amassing Ravagers, he's amassing Lings. Dark is working on detection. And he's not droning. Dark, he is turning his defense into an offense. We're sending everything across the map. And Creator, he's in trouble. Creator is in trouble back at home. We will have an Overseer. Overseer's on the way. The lair did finish. We collapse here on top of the Adepts. They do manage to shade away. Pylon did fall. Yeah, detection in position over the army. And we're going to get a kill on at least the third. Files do connect. We surround the Adepts. Archon's doing what they can. But that is going to be a kill on the Nexus. Oh, the Sentry. Sentry goes down. Nexus falls. And from here, now we drone. Now Dark is droning up. He's keeping up with the Archon drop. No need to try to force the issue and break the natural. You could argue that maybe we could have, but Dark won't try. He'd rather just macro from here. Ooh, as the plows do connect. Creator, we're gonna be careful. Does catch a roach. But behind this, we're joining up, getting up to 2 base saturation. Interesting. A Hydrogen on the way for Dark. As he's getting supply blocks. This Archon drop, putting in some work. Catching Overlords left and right and finding another Overlord. And Dark being a little bit too greedy here. Oh my god. As the Overlord does survive. 3rd base on the way. Creator is still in this. He survives. Creator didn't lose any workers. He retains most of his probe count. Does retain his workers. Bay is on the way. Immortal production underway as well. The base should be for Colossus. And Creator is looking to stabilize. He is looking to stabilize here. Maneuvering around in between the bases. Looking for more pickups. Going for the Queen. Up. And the Queen is barely not going to go down. Queen down to 8 HP. At the same time, Ling run by. Running into Archons. Won't find much damage. And Dark is racing into Hydra production. No Lurker Den. There's no Lurker Den. There's no Infestation Pit. There's no Hive. Dark just now joining up to 3 bases and building up his Hydras. Trying to shut down that prison. You have to be careful. Rocks are knocked down. Link still being active. 4th base on the way for Dark. Does slip in. By committing. And Dark is looking to commit here on Roach Hydra. Still not droning. Just straight up Roach Hydra. We have Roach speed on the way. Let's go. Oh, we catch the Lings! Oh my god. Big chunk of Lings do go down. Very nice catch here from Creator. At the same time, Charge is kicking in. We're building up this death bull of an army with Immortals, with Archons. I believe no Colossus yet. Oh no, there we go. We have 1 Colossus. Dark trying to catch and trying to pounce on that prison. Not able to. Not yet. As Dark is about to max out. Now, despite this, despite the army supply of Dark, it is inflated supply because of these Roaches and Ravagers. Likewise, Creator has a very efficient army with Archon Immortal. Very few gateway units. And for the time being, Dark just looking to knock down these rocks to open up these attack paths. Leaving run by does deny the 4th. 4th base is cancelled. Dark knocking down these rocks is spotted by Creator. Is aware. Despite that, Dark is slipping in. And Creator collapsing on the army. The force fields have been thrown down. And we do trap the Hydras. A couple of Hydras and Ravagers do get picked up. Not a bad trade here for Creator. At the same time, Lings once again diving on that Nexus. Ooh. And they're forcing another cancel. Not quite. We do hold on. We see Roaches being sent out instead. Dark, he wants that base. Meanwhile, we did throw down the Infestation Pit. Now we have the Hive on the way, the Lurker Den as well. Dark has now joined up to 4 bases with 70 workers, and we're working towards Hydra Lurker Viper. So Dark will be getting rid of these Roaches, as they don't really serve him too much anymore. They're hurting him more than anything. But before Lurker Tech, Creator's going to be pushing. Like, what's terrifying right now is that Creator has a death bull of an army, and we need Lurkers, but the Lurker Den is not done. Not yet. Dark is in trouble. The supply does lie. And here we go. We're pushing on in. It's on force fields here on the ramp. Creator, we spoke about him at the start of the match even, about how he does enjoy playing into the mid game, into this very heavy, like, Archon Immortal composition, and is breaking through. Roaches, they try to come in from behind, but we have plenty to deal with this, plenty to defend. As the Immortal Army stands strong. They're pushing through the Roaches, getting on top of the Hydras. Stalkers, they come in to reinforce. The boys are being pulled into Archons. Oh, you hate to see it. The drones are massacred. More boys being pulled as well in a moment of desperation. But Creator, can he be stopped? I mean, the Colossus is putting in a lot of work. Takes down a lot of these drones. Hydras, they're getting on top of some of these Immortals as well. We're down to 3 Immortals. Yeah, 3 Immortals remaining. But Stalkers, they come in to reinforce. And Creator, he does have enough. GG gets called. Creator takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played again. Creator just kind of weathering the storm, just absorbing all of these blows, defending on 3 bases, not even getting a 4th. Remember, the 4th base was denied time and time again, but we built up Archons, Immortals, 1 Colossus. We just built up this death ball of an army over time. And because of the map, because of Ghost River, the rush distance by ground is very short. So a push like that takes seconds to get across the map. And Dark was not ready for it. Dark was just not ready for it. Lurker production was still on the horizon, was still on the way. And Creator snowballed out of control. GG. GG, well played. Creator able to take that first game. Able to kind of, again, absorb the blows there of Dark until he was able to push out. And now we're going to be loading into a bit of a larger map. A map where it's not going to be as easy to achieve the same result here in the same fashion. We're loading into Site Delta. Let's go. Let us go. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Site Delta, we have our South Korean Zerg player. The Red Zerg representing Talon Esports down in this series. Can he bounce back and force the ace match? It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Protoss player. The Blue Protoss representing Blacklist International. It is Creator. Here we go. Again, in the last game, Dark, he was able to break the 3rd, if you remember, but only the 3rd base. Dark, he wasn't able to get any or many worker kills, wasn't able to break the natural, wasn't able to reset the Archon or Immortal count. And Creator, with his Archon drop, did achieve quite a lot. Was able to catch a lot of those Overlords and disrupt the build, disrupt the macro of Dark. Did quite well for himself. So we are settling in. Initially, the DT opener was lackluster, but afterwards, the Archon drop, that we achieved much more with. Especially after the defense of Dark's push. But now we're settling in. Hatchcast pull, standard opener out of Dark. Likewise, we do see Creator going for the gate expand as well. We're loading into Site Delta. Site Delta is one of the more macro-oriented maps. It is much larger, much longer rush distance by ground, so these kind of big move outs take a lot longer to move out. It's a lot easier to pick away at it and to slow it down. Likewise, the natural base is much more secure. The 3rd is a little bit exposed, but only a little bit. It should be a little bit more secure here, and we should be looking towards a longer game. A longer macro game. We'll see. We shall see. As this time we are not going for a Twilight Council, we have our take of choice. It's going to be a Stargate opener for Creator. Warp Gate was delayed. I'm sure Dark did take note of that. So again, with the Stargate opener, Dark should be being a little bit greedier, should be looking to drone out more. Focus on Queens, no need to rush into a fast Roach Warren. Looking to get into a longer, more standard game. The aggression and the chaos that we saw on Ghost River, it's not going to be seen as much here on Site Delta, at least not to begin with. But now, Adept goes to Shade. We do threaten the Shade. We don't commit. Adept does pull back. Oracle's on the way. Creator did go for a Stalker after the first Adept. So it looks like he's not really relying on too much Adept aggression early on. Just poking in and, yeah, pulling back. The Adept will race back home so we can expand and take the third. Is going to be racing back. With that, the first Oracle is out. Soon to be getting into our second and third Oracle, I imagine. As Creator does have momentum, and there we go. There's that second Oracle on the way. Third base being taken. The probe does fall, but the third base does stand strong. Creator will be able to embrace that. Likewise, back at home, Dark just happily droning. If you remember, by this point, we would have already seen a Roach Warren. It was a 3-minute 30 Roach Warren for Dark. Oh my god! As we are rushing to a fast lair. Okay, never mind. Dark is being a little bit cheeky here. This was a 4-minute lair timing. With a fast lair like this could be a couple different things. We could be rushing into a fast Hydra Den, right? We have 1, 2, 3 gases. With 3 gases, this feels like Link Queen Nidus. I'm feeling like a Nidus Worm for Link Queen Nidus based all-in. We'll see. We'll see if we take a 4th gas geyser or if we stay on 3. The walls are being set up. Adepts and Oracles being zoned away. Lings are amassing. Show us that Nidus Worm. As the Oracles, they do pick up a couple of drones. The lair is spotted. Big scout there from Creator. A big moment there. Back at home, shield battery on the way. Creator is getting ready. Here's whether something must be wrong. +1 melee on the way, and it is going to be Hydras. Okay. Mia Mike, is that you? Did mention before that with 3 gas geysers, it could be a Hydra Den, and I mean, I kind of wrote it off, but no, it is going to be the Hydra Den. Okay. So this can be risky. Basically, we're skipping roaches. We're skipping roaches entirely, going into Ling Hydra instead. Which means we are vulnerable early on. Speaking of, we are moving out with our Adepts, but these are vanilla Adepts. They don't have upgrades, but they can still trade well against Lings. And against Hydras. Creator can get damage done. Is going to be moving forward. Creep being shut down. The Queens are able to keep up for the time being. But Creator is waiting for that War Prism. He wants to reinforce across the map. This tech is quite delayed, actually. I'm referring to Creator here. It looks like Creator may have overreacted a little bit when it comes to warping in units, because now we get the Forge and the Twilight Council, but it is delayed. The wall, ooh, is a wall. We're barely holding on. And the Adepts, they're being shut down. At the same time, Oracles, they dive into the main. Drones are finally getting picked up. Yeah, 4, 5, 6. Oh, almost 7. 6 drones go down. Not a bad run by here, or not a bad flyby with these Oracles. But the Adepts were a little bit lackluster. They forced a reaction, but didn't really get much done. Creator pulling back home, and again, the tech of Creator is delayed. +1 attack just starting. Charge just beginning. Immortal production underway. And Creator stuck at home. He's stuck at home, and now Dark, he can freely drone up. And I would not be opposed to Dark rushing into Lurkers. Into an Infestation Pit, into Lurker tech. There is potential. Oracles dip in. They catch a couple of workers. But not just a couple, getting 5, 6 drones at the cost of an Oracle. This was still worth it. Still a good amount of damage, but an Oracle does go down. Zells, they dip into the main. Temple Archives is done. Storm is on the way. Dark is not working towards Lurkers, which is a little bit concerning. Okay, there we go. Finally, there's the Infestation Pit. I do think this is late. I do think we could have thrown this down a little bit earlier. The reason why I'm concerned is that right now we have nothing but light units. We have Lings and Hydras. And Storm is almost halfway done. Storm is almost done, so the window, the timing that Dark has to make use of Ling Hydra, it's closing. That window is slowly closing here. And we'll see if Dark can make use of this army. I mean, it looks like he's already working on the next step. He's already working on these Lurkers instead. So he's not looking to push out with Ling Hydra. Lurker Den's on the way. Hive has just begun. Gases are being taken. Dark joining up to 4 base saturation, up to 80 plus workers. And this means that this turtling and this teching that Creator has been doing, he's getting away with it. He's getting away with it. He's taking another base, taking a 4th. Storm is now done. Immortal production well underway. Archons as well. And Immortal Archon can deal with lurkers, especially a low amount of lurkers. Even a high amount even. Like, this army can be devastating. As we are making 2 Immortals at a time. And again, Immortals in high enough numbers, they can tank those spine shots from the lurkers. They can close the distance, get on top of them, shut them down. Creator, he's already working on his anti-lurker army. No Skytoss yet, but we don't really need it for the time being. There it is, Fleet Beacon. So Creator, he's thinking about that Skytoss. Still just turtling, now on 4 bases. We have cannons, shield battery, stasis traps all over the place. We are heavily fortified. Oof. Storm does connect. Second Stargate on the way. We're working towards carrier production, which is why it feels like Dark is 1 step behind. It feels like, sure, Dark, he's about to max out and getting into lurker tech, but Creator, he's already thinking further ahead than that. Creator is already thinking about that Skytoss. Hallucination does confirm the Hive, does confirm the tech. Nidus Worm on the way. Let's go. We are going for the Nidus. What's the Prism is? Oh, can we shut it down? We're so close. The Prism takes a lot of hits but does barely escape. Mothership is on the way. Carrier production has begun. Creator needs a little bit more time, but here comes the Mass Ling into Storm. As long as we have a couple of storms in the chamber, this Ling Hydra army cannot push forward. Instead, Dark knocking down rocks. Nidus Worm here into the natural. The production has been spotted. Big scout here for Dark. Does confirm the carriers. Nidus Worm is going to be shut down. At the same time, ooh, Overseer. Not quite making it into the main. They can run by here towards the south, but we have High Templar in position. Oh, that's going to be a lot of Banelings. We could slip past. Meanwhile, the Mass Lurker army going right through the center is going to be spotted. Likewise, Nidus Worm into the main base. Can Creator keep up? We have Nidus into the main, Lurkers through the center, and we have the Ling Bane on the left-hand side. A tri-pronged attack. Nidus Worm gets shut down. Lurkers are delayed. Do we have any storms? No storms! Creator, he's out of position. We bust into the base. And the Nexus will go down. Yeah, Dark pulling Creator apart. So we go for the mineral line. Into the 3rd. No reaction. Delayed reaction here from Creator. And 30 per... Oh my god. 33 workers go down. Creator, he was keeping up. He was in position. But he pulled away. He pulled away at just the wrong moment. And sure, the Nidus Worms didn't finish. Sure, the Lurkers did not break through. But we crippled the economy. We killed a base and 33 workers. That is all that Dark needed. And now Creator forced to move out. Now, Creator's main army is terrifying, right? Like, it's one of these moments where Creator is down in workers, but he is now super maxed because of that. He has 140 army supply compared to the 104 of Dark. So run by towards the north, Ling run by towards the south. We do force a massive warp in, even forcing a recall. Oh, the Banelings! Oh, they take down a High Templar. Not bad. Cloak is forced as well. Dark buying time to rebuild. A double Spire on the way. For Corruptors, Vipers have arrived as well. They gathered energy. But Creator, because his army is so large, even though he did lose a lot of workers, even though he's on the back foot, he can still win a fight and win the game. With one big move out, Creator can snowball out of control. Dark, how many Lurkers are we on? 13. 13 Lurkers for Dark. He can hold his own. And his goal here is to just buy time for Corruptor production. The Spires are still halfway done. And Creator, it looks like he's first looking to stabilize this new base, this 5th, before pushing. Okay, splitting up his units. It looks like at this point, Creator, he wants to absorb an attack first. It looks like he's waiting for another big Ling Bane run by, and if he can defend that initially, then we can go into a counterattack. But this is giving Dark a lot of time. Like Dark, he's rebuilding, he's gathering up more energy for infestors, for fungal growths. The spires are finishing, which means now we can start up upgrades for the corruptors. +1 flyer attack, +1 flyer carapace. There we go. They just now begin. So you could definitely argue that Creator, he missed an opportunity to move out. Yet instead of Creator just playing it safe. Bailing's rolling in once again. Creator not quite in position, but not many workers to shut down. As we do react in time. Creator pulling back those probes. Shuts down the Bailings. Dark now expanding. Building up his lurkers. He's building up those lurkers here. And the game will settle. The game settles down, both players are maxed out. Dark with a better economy, Creator with a larger army. Upgrades are underway. Looking at the units here, we have 6 carriers for Creator, we have a decent amount of High Templar, Archons. I mean, our army is looking pretty ideal. Again, Creator just maybe waiting for these upgrades. And I imagine, as I said before, he most likely wants to take a favorable fight first before pushing. Bailing's the courts. Nice big off here from Creator. Big up there from Creator as we're taking another base. Overseer into the main. This should be for the Nidus Worm. Into the main. Or actually right outside the fresh nexus of Creator. And how many lurkers are we on? 21! Oh my god. That's a lot of lunkers, Papi. That's a lot of lunkers. 21, soon to be 23 lurkers for Dark. Nidus does complete. We haven't dove in yet, though. We got another Nidus into the main base. Creator is maxed out. He has no warp pins. And he's distracted. Creator, he shuts down one Nidus, but the other will complete. And we can go straight for the main, straight for the tech. Just 2 lurkers for the time being. Never mind. I was expecting a little bit more. Only 2 lurkers. Nidus Worm is shut down. Again, most of the lurkers are out on the map, and we're moving on out. We're headed for the 5th. The Nidus being shut down. Lurkers edging ever closer. Creator will be able to keep up. Does rotate over. Bailings once again rolling in, but we have Archons in position. Yeah, the Bailings, they get nothing done. And as we're bleeding out Ling Bane, here come the Corruptors. Finally. Corruptors are on the way. Are in production. As Creator has been building up a bank. He's on 4K, 4K. He's on a 4K bank here. Soon to be 5K, actually. Dark still slowly pushing forward. 2-2 is about to finish up. Soon working towards 3-3. Another Nidus Worm into the main. Creator does respond with his carriers. And here we go. We have the Spore Forest slowly pushing forward. Again, so important to add that extra DPS against the Sky Toss with all these spores. Lurkers, more spores behind this. You managed to get a good, decent storm. Decent storm on the army. There are how many? 9 corruptors in the air. We have Viper still duck to yoink. And Dark is slowly encroaching upon the bases of Creator. Now we're pushing in. Getting within range. Creator has to respond. And again, Creator only fighting with half his army. And the other half is rotating over. Get the abduction. 2 immortals go down. Good pickoffs. Dark edging ever closer. We can see Creator getting ready for a surround. And can he collapse on the army? A decent storm, but now we're within range of the Nexus. Nexus will go down. It's going to be so difficult to save it. We yoink a carrier. Carrier gets picked up. Decent storm. Nexus does fall. Creator has to back up. Looking for a better angle of attack. Again, we don't want to push into these spores. That is the ideal for Dark. Creator pulling back. Dragging the army away. Mothership gets abducted. And that's going to be minus 300, minus 300. Mothership goes down. And Creator is pushing. Lurkers from behind. Oh! The Lurker's going to be shut down. The Lurker's getting cleaned up. Did cost a lot of storms. Archon army still standing strong. And there's only a handful of Lurkers left. We focus out the infestors. The spores are not in position. Lurkers are falling, but we do need detection. Do we have an observer? Yeah, we do. It is with the main army. The Vipers! No! 1 Viper goes down! Up! And can we get the others? It looks like we can. 2 Vipers fall, 1 Viper survives. And we catch out the Lurkers. They're left exposed. Again, the spores, they're not helping. We shut down every single Lurker. The base is falling, and Creator's looking to snowball out of control. Dark, now up against the wall, is banking up a very large Corruptor army. But is this too many Corruptors? Because we have Archons, we have a ground army. Uh-oh. There's no Greater Spire. There's no Greater Spire. There's no Broodlords. How many Corruptors is this? 38! 38 Corruptors! A massive storm of the Lurkers. Now, if this Lurker army falls, that's game. Like again, the Corruptors, they can only shoot up. They can't deal with these Archons or the Immortals. Dark, did we make too many Corruptors? Have we overreacted? We can send it, Babby. Send it, Creator. I mean, at this point, it's a foregone conclusion. Like, the carriers will fall. The carriers, they will die to the Corruptors. But it's not about that. It's about how many Lurkers are left over. Okay, it's going to be 15 Lurkers. 1 Viper. Creator rotating around. You'll have storms as well for those Corruptors. We dive in. We catch a Void Ray. We catch a carrier. Still no Greater Spire. Spores are caught out. Ooh. Big storm here. Does catch some of these Corruptors. And we're diving in. We dive on top of the carriers. 3 carriers going to be going down. The War Prism as well. But what about the ground army? Lurkers, they're going down one after the other. We're pushing on through. We have Archons coming in from the south. We have DTs welling in as well. Ooh. Yeah, Lurkers are falling left and right. It looks like we will break this base. And Dark, he's in trouble. These Corruptors, they're not really adding too much. We have 26 Hydras on the way. No, the Archons! The Archons go ham. They shut down the Corruptors. So many of them fall. And we're snowballing out of control. Hydras, they are doing what they can. They focus down the Immortals, but GG gets called. There's just too much Protoss and too many Corruptors. Not enough anti-ground, and Creator takes it. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Creator as he does take the series 2-0, eliminating Dark from the tournaments. That was a very tense game where both players were building up. There were definitely moments for Creator. Dark stabilized, Dark maxed out, but Dark unfortunately did not have a Greater Spire. If he had a Greater Spire, Broodlords, right? Broodlords are suddenly an option, and Broodlords are a good way to deal with the Mass Archon Immortal that was coming his way. There was no Greater Spire. We were stuck with mass corruptor, and it's one of the traps that you can fall into. It is a trap that you can fall into in this matchup, which is overcommitting to corruptor when there isn't that much Skytoss to really justify it, and not having a way to make use of those corruptors otherwise, right, with a Greater Spire, with Broodlords. Just not something we had available there. GG, well played. Creator will take it. We'll take it in the end, and now we're going to be following Creator into the next round. Let's find out where we are. Exclamation mark B in the chat to have a look at the bracket yourselves. And does Creator have an opponent? Do we have an opponent? Scrolling on down, it looks like we do. Okay, Max Pax versus Hero has concluded. I don't know if that was a PvP or a PvT. I'm not privy to that information, but it did go the way of Max Pax, did take the series in the end, and now Max Pax goes up against Creator in the semifinals. And that is what we are casting next. That is what we are casting next here. As we're getting ready for the PvP. Meanwhile, as we do head on over, let's have a look at the lower half of the bracket to try to catch up on what else has been going on. For a while, Beyond and Nightmare are facing off, and there it is! We spoke about it. Nightmare, he is a beast in PvT, and I was slightly favoring him against Beyond. I was expecting it to go to the ace match, though. I was expecting a game 3, but alas, Nightmare, looking a little bit more informed, takes down Beyond 2-0, and is now up against Solar in the semifinals. But a shout out to Trigger. Really impressive. Trigger didn't just beat Skillers, he took a game off of Solar as well. I know that Trigger didn't win against Solar and isn't in the semifinals, but this is still a really impressive result. Still a really big win for Trigger to force the ace match. Trigger has historically struggled against players like Dark and Solar, against the Korean Zerg players, so to force the ace match is impressive, and it does show that Trigger is improving, that he is getting better here, and yeah, he's even posing a threat to Solar. Impressive. GG, well played. Shout out to Solar for advancing on. My condolences to Trigger as he does bow out of the tournament, and we do have Solar versus Nightmare in the semifinals. That's going to be a close one. I'm always reminded that Nightmare did qualify for GSL at the start of the year by defeating Solar. Nightmare's worst matchup has historically been PvZ, but Nightmare has been getting better. Over the past 2 months, we've seen Nightmare bring down Solar, we've seen Nightmare bring down Dark. Nightmare has, likewise, like how Trigger's been improving, Nightmare has also been improving as well in even the PvZ matchup. So he's not just known for being a beast in PvT and PvP, but even his PvZ is now comparable. Now becoming comparable. So I do wish them both the best of luck there, as it looks like we have both semifinals underway. Again, we're going to be following Creator into the upper semifinals. I wish Solar and Nightmare the best of luck, and I'm sure they're being casted by some of the other casters out there, whether it's Pig, Artosis, Steadfast, Behemoth, Dave Testa, Chicken Man. Again, I'm sure there's plenty of other coverage going on down there, but we have our series. We have our PvP. We have our PvP. Wrong on Wikipedia. I think there's some people asking about a Wikipedia score. It was misreported earlier that Wayne had defeated Hero. I believe it was misreported on Wikipedia. But I know who was casting. I'm just gonna confirm. just confirmed hero. Wikipedia. There we go. So yeah, for those that are curious, I just asked cheers. But yes, just to let everyone know, there was a bit of a misreporting earlier, which is why on Wikipedia it did say that Hero lost against Wayne, but we can fix that. Actually, I can just fix it. I have the power. I can just update it. It's all good. Let's have a look here. Hero versus Wayne. Hero took down Wayne 2-1. And then Hero versus MaxPax. And let's double check here. MaxPax 2-0 over Hero. Nice. But did Hero play Terran against MaxPax again? True, that I do not know. I should have asked MaxPax. I should have asked him. Should have asked him. But I did just update the Wikipedia page, so it should be fixed. Yeah. Is now fixed. And here we go. We're diving into our next series, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Golden Aura, we have our Danish Protoss player. The Blue Protoss representing Storm Gaming. The best Protoss in all of Europe, arguably the best Protoss in the world. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Blacklist International. It is Creator. And if you're in the chats, I will quickly get some predictions going, so you can get your Gamba going, Papi. I know how addicted you are to the Gamba, Kappa. But I will get those predictions going, so if you're in the chat, you can place your bets on who you believe will make it to the grand finals. Again, MaxPax is a regular in the finals, but Creator has been popping off. Has been popping off in his own right. One moment. There we go. Predictions are now open. Best of luck. As we are setting up on the high ground, we do have a setup for, I believe, a gate expand from MaxPax, a 2-gate opener from Creator. Predictions open. There we go. So again, 2 gateways here from Creator. MaxPax does often go for a gate into Cybercore, into Double Gas, into Tech, into Expand. A bit of a greedier opener from MaxPax on Golden Aura. And MaxPax does very often not actually wall off here on the low ground. He walls off on the high ground, specifically on this map, just because of the rush distance by ground, of how exposed this area can be, how difficult it can be to defend. Just catching up. Just catching up with the chat. Yeah, as I believe in Spores, now it's going to be really hard to push in. Yeah, in that last series, it was so important that Creator was able to bypass those Spores, right, to be able to avoid them and catch the army. Of course, a big part of that, of course, was the lack of Greater Spire, or just the overcommitment into Corruptor as well. It happens, it happens. As Creator is opening up Double Adept. Okay, Double Adept from Creator, going to be a little bit more aggressive, going to be moving out across the map. And we'll see if Creator can delay the expansion, as it is going to be the Stargate opener from MaxPax. As we did mention, it was Double Gas, so faster tech of choice into an expansion. There is the Nexus. So MaxPax has the faster base, has the faster economy. Creator behind by a couple of seconds, and with this Stargate opener, it should be Oracle to harass across the map. Sorry, there's just a lot to catch up on. was a little bit distracted by the chat, but it's all good. It is all good. As Adepts, they do threaten a shade. So far, we're able to wall off. The Stalker has arrived, and MaxPax, for the time being, has held. Not just held, but soon to counterattack across the map. It isn't just about MaxPax having the faster base and the better economy, but also to manage to catch some workers across the map as well, so we do force the recall. One Adept goes down. But at least we scout. At least Creator is now aware of the Oracle moving out across the map. Shield battery is already done. Stalkers and Sentries going to be in position. And we are able to keep up against that Oracle. The Oracle will threaten a dive. Does div in for a moment. Skirting around the edge. Not quite finding any probe damage yet, but still poses a threat. Likewise, we do see MaxPax getting caught out a little bit. Taking some extra shots. Second Oracle on the way. 2 Oracles can one-shot probes. And that means that this shield battery, it's not going to be enough to defend. Creator hallucinating some Stalkers. Pumping up his chest. Up! And MaxPax does realize, but it looks like we do hold on. Does manage to hold. Does force MaxPax back. I love whenever Creator does this. It's a very Creator thing. To force field like Stalkers like this, or Immortals later on, even Archons. It's quite cute. As we will settle in. MaxPax now looking to expand, take a third base. Oracles are still sharking around. No major damage yet, only catching 3 probes so far. To catch another though. 2 probes go down. Blink is on the way for both Creator and MaxPax. Working towards Blink Stalkers. And Creator is going to be the first to move out. Does move out with his ground army. At the same time, Oracle's looking for a backstab here into the main. No Stalkers back at home. So there is an opportunity. Likewise, third base is spotted. And the Oracles, they wreak havoc here. Dive into the main base. 3, 4, 5 probes going to be going down. Oh, barely not the 5th. But 4 probes. Pretty good pickoffs here from MaxPax. And we have plenty of Stalkers as well. We're in position. We have the surround. We have the flanking army. And the Creator cannot break through this. GG gets called. And MaxPax will take game number 1. GG. Again, there was no kind of big climax to this game. It was just these small wins over time here for MaxPax, where he was able to take an economic lead, getting all these probe damage, all these probe kills, and the fact that Creator committed at the end here into a fight that was not going Creator's way. And in a mirror matchup, this gets out of hand. In a mirror matchup, it gets out of control here, where you bleed out just too many Stalkers, too many workers, you fall too far behind, and catching up is nigh impossible. Just because your opponent has the same tools that you do, it's in mirror matchups, they hit different. They do hit different. GG, MaxPax does take game 1. Now we're getting ready for game number 2. Let's go. Let us go. Hello, Duck. That's a Korean player from back in the day. You have us confused. Shaking my head. Do you know what the matchup history between these two is like? Let's actually have a look at Wikipedia. Wikipedia has a head-to-head tool as well, for those that are curious. Let's see, MaxPax and Creator. Run query. Let's see. They actually haven't faced that often. Okay, this is actually the 3rd time they're playing this year. They played once in Kung Fu Cup number 1 of the summer season, where MaxPax did win 2-1. It went all the way to the ace match, but MaxPax did come out on top. And they also played in ESL Open Cup Americas 228. That was a couple of weeks ago, or over a month ago at this point, where MaxPax was able to take down Creator 2-0. So they've only played twice this year, which is a little bit surprising. But Creator was on a bit of a hiatus, so he was competing a little bit less in these online events. So great to see him back. But here we go, we're diving into game number 2 and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ghost River. We have our Danish Protoss player, the Blue Protoss representing Storm Gaming, leading the series 1-0. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player representing Blacklist International. Down to this series, can he bounce back? It is Creator. We go. We are settling into game 2. Again, MaxPax having a pretty solid game 1. There was nothing really special about game 1. It was just really solid play out of MaxPax. Did just take too much of a lead too early on, and Creator did crumble before the might of MaxPax. And once again, do you see what I see? Gate expand. It's gate into Cybercore. 2 gases are being taken, so this should be a Stargate opener into a Nexus. So an economic build here from MaxPax. This is his go-to. Once again, he's going for the gate into Cybercore on the high ground. Just because we're on Ghost River, it is very common to go for all-ins and very difficult to defend here on the low ground instead. Speaking of all-ins, Creator is going for a proxy, but this looks like a proxy Stargate. This is not the beginning of what looks to be... This doesn't look like the beginnings of an all-in. Looks like a Stargate, which is just a way to get ahead economically. Ideally, it's a Stargate into Oracle, and then we expand. Meanwhile, there's a Stargate opener from MaxPax. Double Adept from Creator. Pylon is done, Cybercore is done, and the Stargate is thrown down. So again, this should be for the Oracle. The Oracle is poised to dive into the mineral line. MaxPax is scouting at the 3rd base location, but will not check the 4th. So MaxPax is in the dark. Meanwhile, it's not just going to be the Oracles to apply pressure, but also the Adepts on the ground. Going to be the Adepts from one end, the Oracle from the other. We'll see if MaxPax can keep up as he is scouting. And he will confirm. MaxPax with the probe scouts. Oh my god, he is just far too aware. He will get eyes on the proxy and will get ready for it. Yeah, the Stargate has been found. A rough start for Creator. As Oracle's on the way, of course it is confirmed. We have the Oracle on the way for MaxPax to go for his own counterattack. Shield battery on the horizon as well to defend that mineral line. As MaxPax does have the Nexus lead, Creator just now throwing down his. The onus is on Creator to get some economic damage done, but I don't know if he can. Don't know if he will. So before they wall off, let him shade in. Meanwhile, Oracle into the main base as well, going for the stasis up! And the stasis will not complete. The trap gets focused down instead. The wall will be broken. And Adepts are shading in. That is 4 Adepts. Meanwhile, across the map, oh, we get 3 probe kills. 3 workers go down. Creator does bust into the main. And we are getting workers. 3, 4, soon to be 5. Creator, suddenly this is a little bit more worth it here as we get just 4 probes for the time being. There we go. Now getting a 5th. And the Phoenixes, they can lift 1 at a time. Very chaotic game. Meanwhile, across the map. Oh no, Adepts, they also get in! I was curious. The kill count's double that of Creator. That's going to be 12 dead workers. Creator, he's down to 11 probes. Ay, ay, ay. I was curious as to what where Creator's attention was, but it was back at home. And MaxPax takes the lead. MaxPax, he has a massive lead. Creator does have double Oracle. He has potential with these 2 Oracles. Does have potential. Dives into the main base. Probes are being targeted. Not bad. Getting 7 probe kills. 8 probes go down, but the Oracles will be shut down by those Phoenixes. Will be cleaned up. MaxPax still maintains 23 probes to the 16 of Creator. Creator is still in a rough spot. Is still behind. And what's scary here is that MaxPax has map control. He has map control. He's moving out with those Phoenixes. He can threaten the mineral lines. No shield battery. No overcharge. Now we're going for the Nexus. And the Phoenixes can punish the Stalkers. Yeah, we're pushing into the main. Creator, he's up against the wall. The pylon getting targeted. The Artosis pylon. No, we can't afford to lose it. Let's take a lot of hits. Creator is holding on. At the same time, Oracle comes in from behind, gets 3 more probes. Nexus under fire. MaxPax on 32 workers back at home. It was a chaotic start. It was a very chaotic game. Workers were going down from both sides. But it was so much more important that MaxPax was able to scout, able to prepare. Able to shut Creator down. And catching a Stalker. Oh no, not again! As the Oracle dives back into the main, and now we're all in. It's all or nothing here for Creator. There's no turning back. Creator does have double the Stalker count of his opponent, but we have the overcharge. We have a shield battery. GG gets called, and MaxPax will shut Creator down, taking the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. MaxPax will take the series and will shut Creator down. Both in Game 1 and Game 2, we had some very chaotic early games, and MaxPax did take a lead and maintain that lead over Creator. Congratulations. Congratulations. GG, well played. With that, MaxPax is our first finalist, and the question becomes, who's up next? Who will be playing against MaxPax in those grand finals? As it looks like the lower semis are still mid-series. Looks like they're still underway. Nightmare versus Solar. Let's quickly have a look here at some of these other channels. Again, shout out to... Does Artosis still cast ESL Americas? Does he still do that? No, he's playing Brood War. Never mind. I don't think Artosis has been casting for a while, actually. I think it's been a while. But it looks like they just wrapped up, so we're heading over to the Americas server. I just came from there. But it looks like Nightmare vs Solar went all the way to the ace match, and it has concluded. Solar has taken down Nightmare 2-1, and we have our finals. It's going to be MaxPax versus Solar. Let's go. We'll just message those players, make sure we don't get left behind. Do love to see it. It is going to be another PvZ. And fun fact, MaxPax and Solar, I believe they faced off the last like 2 weeks in the finals. Here we go. Team Vitality. Sorry, just setting up the players. Making sure we have everything sorted out. I'm just catching up with the chat. What has been going on? Here we go. Hallucinations in general seem underutilized. They are. It's always really nice whenever we do see them. It's always something that stands out. It's something that stands out. According to a league, like PvP is MaxPax's worst matchup. I mean, we have seen MaxPax fall to players like Hero and players like Showtime. I think it was last week, for those who maybe are unaware. Last week in ESL Europe, Showtime did defeat MaxPax. Like, we've seen specifically Showtime, Classic, and Hero pose a threat to MaxPax in the past. Not today, obviously not today, but I think in general, when it comes to the top players in Europe, mirror matchups seem to be their weakest. When I think of MaxPax, I think of PvP. When I think of Clem, I think of TVT. When I think of Cyril, I think of ZVZ, right? Like, it's these mirror matchups which can be quite chaotic and I guess very different as well from region to region. I'm just catching up. I'm just catching up. Solo dominated game 3, yeah. not good. Looks like vetoes are underway as we speak. Both Solar and MaxPax are getting ready for the final series of the night. And this is a rematch. I kind of glossed over it as I was a little bit, I was just catching up in the chat. Just catching up. But this is a rematch. Last week, we had MaxPax versus Solar in the finals of ESL Americas. And the week before that was the same. Week after week, time and time again, MaxPax and Solar, they were in the finals of ESL Americas 229, 230, and now 231 as well. They are fated to face off time and time again. And they have been going a little bit back and forth, but MaxPax has been dominant over Solar with 3 1s or 3 0s. Can Solar bounce back? I'm hoping we see something different. For those who were here for the past couple of weeks, you would know that in those series, Solar was playing hyper aggressive. We saw him in both weeks rush into Dynasty and go for the goal base and go for a roach rush. We saw Solar go for the goal base on Alkiona as well, also going for a roach rush. And we saw Solar go for the center base on, not Alkiona, it was Crimson Court. Crimson Court, taking the center base, taking that Rich Testing Gas Geyser, also going for an all-in. So, time and time again, these past 2 weeks, Solar has been hyper aggressive against MaxPax. And I'm not too fond of that just because that isn't really Solar's strength. That's where Dark thrives. That's where Shin thrives. Like Dark, Shin, there are some of these other Korean Zerg players which are more aggressive and they have that kind of X factor. They're much more practiced in that, and they can and they have defeated MaxPax with these more all-in builds. But it feels like Solar, again, that's not really his wheelhouse. Solar, he's known for his mid game, he's known for his late game. Solar is known for more macro play. And I feel like even if he's maybe even a little bit fearful of MaxPax or even respectful of MaxPax's play in that game state as well, I still feel like that's where we should be kind of falling back on, making use of our strengths more so than trying to catch MaxPax off guard. So I'm hoping that that's the case, but we'll see. We'll see. I feel like the veto process is going to be telling, like whether Dynasty makes it through, whether Crimson Court makes it through. Will be telling as to the kind of builds that Solar is planning on going on. We'll see what he is planning for, as the vetoes are now done. The vetoes are done, and predictions will soon be open. Again, I would say that MaxPax is favored here against Solar, at least historically. But again, maybe Solar has a better idea. Oh, how to approach this. And hopefully we can get everyone in. Just inviting all of our lovely casters. We're good, we're good. Just getting everyone involved. And game 1 is going to be Oceanborn. Let's go. Let us go. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you believe is going to be this week's champion. Will it once again be the Danish Protoss, or will the Korean Zerg get his revenge? Up to you to decide. Predictions open. Oh, did I misspell Solar? Sorry, my apologies. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our Danish Protoss player, the Blue Protoss representing Storm Gaming. Ooh, he is our reigning ESL Open Cup Americas champion. Will he retain his crown and do it again? It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg representing Team Vitality. Correctly spelling his name now. Thank you for putting it out. It is Solar. Again, he has been the runner-up for ESL Americas week after week after week. Been unable to break the streak of MaxPax. But is this the week? Can we finally bring it back? and we finally bring it back. I'm here for it. I'm ready for it. For now, Hatch Gas Pool. Hatch Gas Pool, standard opener out of Solar. He's able to get his base on location. Likewise, MaxPax going for his gate expand as well. Here we go. So yeah, I think mirrors are generally more coin flippy. They can be. I mean, mirror matchups are different beasts just because you use the same tools as your opponent. So like positioning is a big thing. Like build orders are a big thing as well, a big factor. Being overly greedy, being overly safe can cost you at times. I don't know if I would say mirror matchups are more coin flippy. I would say that mirror matchups are less forgiving. They're very unforgiving. It's maybe a better way of putting it. They can be brutal like that. Here we go. For now, our spawning pool is now done. We'll be settling in. Now, as we load into Oceanborn, I know earlier I was talking about how we saw a lot of like more cheeky all-ins from Solar these past couple of weeks against MaxPax. That is true on some more unique maps. On Oceanborn, it's also the case. Oceanborn is known for its 3-base all-ins. The reasoning for this is because the third base is more exposed. This third base does not have the high ground advantage that it otherwise would on other maps. Likewise, an all-inning Zerg player can choose to go for the third, maybe rotate over towards the natural instead. The ramps here at the natural is very wide, very large. So in general, this is a big reason as to why we have seen a lot of German taxis or Nidus-based all-ins, Drop Lord-based all-ins off of 3-base saturation. So that's the first thing I'm keeping my eye out for, is the saturation of Solar, to see if we join up and tech up. Likewise, MaxPax going for a Stargate opener into Oracle. So far, standard game, standard build. See, everybody is shut down. Everyone going to be forced back again. It was Adept into Stalker, not double Adept, so MaxPax isn't going to be as assertive with these initial Adepts. Is going to pull back and instead rely on his oracles. As the Overlord is shut down, Oracle moves out across the map. Here we go. Oracle is moving out. We have 2 queens in the natural, 2 queens in the main. We are in position. So far, so good. Solar should be able to keep up. As the Oracle does find its way into the natural, taking some extra hits, gets 1 drone, gets a second. 2 drones go down, does escape. Meanwhile, behind this, that is a fast Twilight Council. Let's go. MaxPax is going to be the aggressor. Now, with this fast Twilight Council, this could be one of 2 things. This could be fast Glaives or fast Blink. Both have their place. One is more aggressive than the other. Glaives, of course, is to turn the tables and send it across the map and try to catch Solar being too greedy. Blink is initially more of a defensive build. Will keep you safe against all-ins. Will keep you safe against Roach-based play. And what's it going to be? Glaives or Blink? Show us what you got. Glaives it is. Let's go. Okay, so it's going to be hidden Glaive Adepts for MaxPax. The way this works is because of the initial Stargate opener, we should delay the Roach Warren. And there it is. This Roach Warren is thrown down at the 5-minute mark, which is the standard timing for the Roach Warren. But this does mean that we're going to have to rely on Lings initially to defend against the Adepts. Adepts are going to be banking up back at home. And the goal here is to catch Solar unaware. Like right now, there's no reason to make units. Right now, Solar is droning. He's only making drones. He should be working on a 4th base, maybe making a couple of queens, but there's no reason to be too like afraid and focus on army production, because why would you? Well, you would if you knew that Adepts are on the way. So Glaives and Adepts are banking up here back at home, and Solar hasn't been active with these Lings. Ideally, if we are sending out Lings, and if we are applying pressure to the 3rd base, we would have seen this. We would have seen the Mass Adept, and we are pushing out across the map. 10 drones on the way! Oh, go. Oh, no. 10 drones are on the way. The Adepts have been spotted. They have been spotted, but Solar has almost nothing to defend. Roach production has now commenced, but it might just be too late. The wall is a wall. Adepts, they're able to keep up. Queens, they do rock up here. They do hold the line. Transducer on point. 1 queen goes down. We got 1 queen, and now a 2nd, and soon to be a 3rd. And 3 queens full, we shade into the mineral line. Solar does evacuate ahead of time, does pull away. Oracle threatens a dive. But so far, a very nice defense here from Solar. as he has barely lost any drones. Whew. Again, despite not being ready for this, despite droning up a little bit too much, he does hold the line. Queens did keep up, but it's not over yet. As Adepte once again, oh, don't quite shade in. Going for the hatchery. Uh-oh. It's going to cost us all the Adepts, so we do force a cancel. Just in time, we force a cancel on the 4th base. Queens have arrived, they shut down the Oracle, and Solar has held. We are getting a couple of workers. This is okay, but we needed more. We needed more than just 3 drone kills. Hydrogen on the way, Infestation Bits on the way. Solar takes a lead. Solar defends, he has a decent economy. More importantly, he has stronger tech, working towards Lurker tech and Hive. And there it is, Hive is on the way. This is the beginnings of Hydra Lurker Viper. Back at home, MaxPax doesn't really have much. If Solar wanted to go for a big Ling Roach Ravager counterattack, MaxPax would have a hard time defending. As we can see, Solar, instead of counterattacking, is teching. So it's one of 2 different routes that you can take. But I do appreciate this. I mentioned before that I wasn't too fond of the hyper aggression that Solar was flexing last week and the week before that. Here instead we're macroing. You know, let's just relying on our strengths here, falling back on our strengths, macroing up, working towards Hydra Lurker Viper instead. MaxPax meanwhile moving on his second wave, his second push. Back at home taking a 4th base, probing up to 75. Maneuvering around. Here we go, we do see MaxPax pushing on forward. Roach Ravager getting in position. Decent force fields. The Blings, they come in from behind. Stasis Trap is triggered. So far so good. Solar is holding his own. 18 more Lings on the way. Hydras as well. Back at home, you can see MaxPax working towards the 2nd Rover and a Templar Archives. Working towards Immortals and Archons and Storm. But he's not there yet. As MaxPax does pull back. At the same time, Solar going for a big Ling counterattack, headed for the 4th. Shuts down the cannon. Shuts down some of the shield batteries. Not a bad run by, and it does force MaxPax back home. He does turn around, and you know what that means. That means the Hive is done. Solar, he has gotten away with all of his teching. The Hive is done. Lurkers are on the way. Vipers are on the way. Solar, he is getting into his final form. MaxPax is not there yet. MaxPax just added Storm. Storm is on the way. Charge is on the way. 2nd Robo just finished. MaxPax needs time. There is a window that Solar can use. If he pushes within the next couple of seconds here, the next minute, then Solar could break through and try to snowball out of control. But now MaxPax poking onto Creep. Does spot the Lurkers. Revelation is popped. Prism here on the left-hand side. Directing a counterattack. But so far, MaxPax, he's buying time. He forces the burrow. Gets the Revelation. Fleet Beacon's on the way. MaxPax working towards Skytoss. Skytoss is on the horizon here for MaxPax. Again, he needs time. And Solar's maxed. It's time to move out. Solar is maxed. Slowly pushing forward. Oh! Adaptive Talon's about to finish. Storm in 10 seconds. At the same time, Solar going for a big counterattack at the natural. Trying to break through, but there is a shield battery. There is a cannon. MaxPax is holding. And a very nice stasis trap. Yeah, catching all these lanes, just force fielding the ramp essentially. And it does slow Solar down. And now that we're pushing, now we have Storm. We have Storm, we have a good Immortal count. MaxPax, he survived. He has made it to a more ideal army.
Base is under attack.
Solar still pushing in. The wall's to the wall. There we go. We do see MaxPax out of position. Lurkers have burrowed. High Templar not able to engage. We do end up forcing back the flank at least. Lurkers are edging ever closer. At the same time, Zelt's in the main. 10 drones go down. If Zelt's in the main base, Zelt's at the 3rd base as well. Solar is committed. But these Lurkers, they need more support. Yeah, the Lurkers are exposed. They're going to be going down one after the other. Yeah, big pickups. The Lurkers are cleaned up. Meanwhile, across the map, the Zelts are keeping the reinforcements busy. Again, that's why there was no support. The Ling Hydra stuck at home, dealing with all these zealots. And MaxPax, he survives the lurker timing. Does survive it. And you know what that means? Skytoss, Mothership, Fleet Peak, and Stargates are on the way. MaxPax Luna take to the skies. And Solar, I don't think he can stop it. Not anymore. Which means we have a game. We have a game, Pappy. We've had some really tense moments here with the Glaive Adepts, with the lurker timing. Solar still trying to be assertive. Pushing out across the map, pushing up this ramp. It's not going to happen. We have Storms. The Prism is still active as well. Still active, dipping into the main. Oh, he's going to finally be shut down. Very low. Do we catch a queen? At the same time, Solar attempting to outposition MaxPax. Not bad. Storm does connect. Lurker's not quite engaging with the base yet, but we do catch 8 probes, and we do deny the Nexus. Nexus is cancelled. Deny the base. Solar rotating around. Looks like the Prism was dealt with. And here we go. It's not going to be Carrier, it's going to be Tempest, making 3 Tempests at a time. Solar rotating towards the left-hand side. MaxPax barely keeping up. A little bit late, but he does get here. Jesus, how many Immortals is that? 9 Immortals! Soon to be 11. Jesus. That's a lot of Immortals. That is a lot of Immortals here. For MaxPax, Storm again grazes the army, forces it back. Tempests have arrived, and we have to respect the Tempest. Solar pulls back, and upon seeing the Tempest, immediately Spire tech. But again, the Spire is late. Solar, he feels 1 step behind here compared to MaxPax. We are not ready for the Tempest. Like, the problem with the Spire is that we need the Spire, we need upgrades as well. Vanilla 0-0 Corruptors won't cut it. MaxPax moving out with the Mothership, ready for the recall. Pushing on the right-hand side. At the same time, Solar does hit the 5th. Forcing another cancel. Does force a cancel. Mothership sneaking on in. Solar, can he respond in time? So do threaten the right-hand side. We threaten the 5th base of Solar. Temper shots going up. Getting within range of the base. Oh, and the base is going to fall. Yeah, the Immortals, they make short work of it. And then we go for the recall. We take out 1 hatchery and we're going for the other. And we can recall once again. We'll still have another recall in the chamber. Hydra's trying to dive in. Hatchery goes down. Massive storms. And we can always just retreat. We can always just back up. Meanwhile, 5th base getting up and running. Zealots are here to defend. MaxPax doesn't even need to back up. He rotates back around. Another storm. And he's pulling Solar apart. The 5th base this time will not be cancelled. Solar down to 3 hatcheries. Barely any mining, barely an economy. And Solar, he's broke. He can't max out. Yeah, Solar, he cannot keep up. Not anymore. Not with this army. We've hit critical massive Immortals, critical massive Tempest. Yoink comes in. We managed to catch 1. Oof, but we sniped the Viper. Viper goes down. Zealot Rumbai coming in. Going for the fridge bases. Massive storm of the Corruptors. Corruptors are doing what they can, but the Immortals, they go into town. We've seen this before. It's not about the air, it's about the ground army. The Immortals, they focus on every single lurker. More lurkers are trickling in, but it's not enough. It's not enough here against the Immortals. GG gets called, and MaxPax takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. MaxPax does take a lead here in the series. Oh, a very intense back and forth here. I mean, Solar, he was able to survive against the initial Glaive Adepts, which was impressive. You know, he did minimize his losses against those Adepts. I just saw what the next map is going to be. Oh, boy. We'll get into it. But yeah, he was able to survive the initial Glaive Eps, got into Hive Tech, got into Lurkers as well, but we saw that Solar did miss his window. He missed his opportunity to make use of the Hydro Lurker Viper before the Skytoss came into play, before Storm came into play. We saw that MaxPax was doing such a great job being active with his army, buying time, force fielding the ramp, or even catching units, and just buying time for the eventual Skytoss. And with that, GG, well played. MaxPax takes a lead, and the reaction that I had earlier is we have our map of choice for game 2. Dynasty. Dynasty is going to be coming up next. Now, every time that we've seen Solar on Dynasty, every single time without fail, it's been for an all-in. It's been to rush into the goal base on the other side of the wall, so on the more exposed side, to rush into the gold, to go for a roach-based all-in, and I haven't seen it work yet, I'll be honest. Yeah. I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does work, otherwise we wouldn't see it. But, and we have seen this build have success on this map. The problem is, it's been too popular, which means players have been getting more and more used to defending against it, and punishing it as well. But here we go. We're diving into our next game, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Dynasty, we have our Danish Protoss player. The Blue Protoss representing Storm Gaming, leading the series 1-0. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Zerg player representing Team Vitality. I've got my eyes on that drone. Down in this series, looking to bounce back, it is Solar. And we do not go for the gold. Okay. You have my attention. Suddenly you have my attention. So without fail, as of late, every time we've casted Solar on this map, he either rushes into this gold here or this gold here on the right hand side of that gold base, and it's been punished time and time again. MaxPax has been able to shut it down, but now we take a regular base, and I'm curious how we play this out. A big reason why this map is usually vetoed, it is very commonly vetoed, I mean, in almost every matchup, is because in certain matchups it's difficult to punish the gold base. Specifically, MaxPax can take the gold as his natural, and Solar cannot. If Solar were to take this gold base, then it would be punished by Adepts, by Stalkers, by Oracles, by all things Protoss. You just would not be able to mine whatsoever. On the flip side, Lings can't do anything here. You have to tech up into at least Roach Tech to try to punish this base. Because of that, by the time Roaches come out, MaxPax can have map control anyway. So, it is safer for the Protoss to take this gold. It is unsafe for the Zerg player to take the gold, which is why this map is vetoed, which is why I'm curious what the plan is. I'm curious what Solar has in store for us. What is our plan to punish this gold? To attempt to. We'll see. For now, standard opener. Hatch gas pool, standard opener out of Solar. Solar does have my attention. I'm curious as to the timing of a lair, the timing of the roaches, how we prioritize gas, how we spend our gas. For now, we pull out as just link speed for the time being. But we shall see. As MaxPax is moving out. Third base being taken by Solar, again taking the linear third. Again, you cannot really expand and take these goal bases in a standard game unless it's your fourth or even fifth base. So Solar is avoiding it. So let's avoid those bases. Adept gets eyes on the third base location. MaxPax is aware. Again, we'll see what direction Solar takes us in. As for now, we have Adepts harassing, we have an Oracle opener back at home. Standard game so far at a MaxPax, outside of the fact that he has the boosted economy with the gold. Adepts dipping in. So far, only trading with Lings. There's a shade over towards the mineral line, and all drones are going down. Aye. 3 workers already. Can we get a 4th? It's going to be close. We can. 4 drones for 2 Adepts, a much better trade for MaxPax. And we're not done. The Oracle has arrived. Queens are in position. We should be able to defend. The Oracle is fended off for the time being. Max Pack still with the map control, though, once again forcing out an Evo Chamber here out of Solar. And limited mining from the Zerg player. You see links across the map, they confirm saturation, at least. Twilight Council follow up, 2 more gates as well. Uh-oh. Max Pax is looking to bring it to Solar. As we deny more mining. Take down more drones. Not quite getting that 4th worker, but basically this looks like Glaves again. Once again, no Forge, 2 more gateways, Twilight Council. There's a chance that this could be Blink, and okay, we're going for a delayed Forge. I'm leaning more along the lines of Blink again for Max Packs. But considering the rich the rich minerals, we could even try to go for some kind of weird, like Soul Train-esque all-in with charge lots, but there it is. Blink is on the way. Now, with fast Blink, we can be quite assertive early on with our Stalkers. We shall see as the Oracles are moving out. Yeah, double Oracle into the main. Get 1, we get 2, we get 3. 3 more drones go down. Max Packs pulling back. How many in total? 10 drone kills in total. Very nice damage so far here by Max Packs. And now he can move out with his Blink Stalkers. Blink is still halfway done. But we can now move out, apply pressure. The goal here for this move out is to deny creep and maybe trade well against the Link Queen. It's not really designed to kill our opponent. Oh, never mind. To kill our opponents. As we're throwing down a proxy across the map. The proxy is spotted. Yeah, we have 7 gates. I didn't realize just how many gateways were thrown down. And this should be for a proxy 8 gateway. Yep, there we go. 3 base all in. Straight up 3 base all in here from Max Packs. 8 gates, 3 bases, nothing but Blink Stalkers. But this all in is a little bit different just because of the Forge, but we can afford it because of the gold minerals. It makes sense. Because of the boosted economy, we can hit a little bit harder with +1. Stalkers have arrived. Blinking well against the Lings, blinking well against the Queens. Lings are going down. Clutch transfused here by Solar. You see Lings trying to catch reinforcements. The Stalkers are getting low. But we have more behind this. Again, we can reinforce 8 Stalkers at a time. Massive saves on the Queens! No! The Queens are caught! And that could be the beginning of the end here. Hydras are on the way, but the Stalkers have gained momentum. They're pushing on in. +1 in 10 seconds for Max Packs. And the Queens are falling left and right. Hydras as well. No more Links to support. No Roaches either, as we did skip them. And Solar's in trouble. Solar, he's in a lot of trouble right now as we catch every single Queen. And again, these losses are just so expensive for Solar. Trading out Hydras. GG gets called. It's just too much, and Max Packs will take a 2-0 lead. GG. GG, well played. Max Packs does take the 2-0 lead. Again, this wasn't your typical 8-gate 3-base all-in. Because of the goal base, there was a little bit more to it as well. There was a little bit more oomph behind that all-in, with +1 behind it, with the extra warpins as well, with those faster zealots, with the additional minerals, and yeah, it did just hit a little bit too hard. Solo was cutting corners. Solar, he did skip his Roach Warren. He was going Ling into Hydra, not into Roach Ravager. And not just that, but Solo was also losing a lot of workers in the lead up to that as well. This is just a rough setup there, a rough game for Solar. A rough map as well. And with that, we're getting into Game 3. Potentially the final game of the series. Potentially the final game. It all comes down to Alcyone. Oh boy. Again, that's why best of 5s can be brutal, because your vetoes are limited. I'm curious what Solar did veto, as he did have 2 vetoes available to him. I imagine Post-Youth was 1. Would he have vetoed Ghost River? Potentially. Crimson Courts? Potentially as well. Regardless, Dynasty did make its way through, and now we're getting into Game 3, potentially the final game. I'm hoping for a back and forth. I'm hoping we can get a series out of this and get into a Game 4, but the pressure is on. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Alkione, we have our blue Protoss player from the land of Denmark, representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg representing Team Vitality. It is Solar. Let's go. The pressure is on Solar. What base are we going for? Probe is in position to deny, and the drone is headed for the triangular third. We are not rushing into the gold. Not this time. Last time we casted Solo in this map, he did rush into the gold base, went into an all-in. MaxPax was able to punish the gold with Glaive Adepts and shut it down. But this time we're going for a much more standard base setup. He is going for a more standard base setup instead. We shall see. MaxPax will be Cyril. I said it. I don't think that's the case. I mean, MaxPax is a good player. I mean, definitely. I think even Hero, right? Even Hero admitted that MaxPax was the best Protoss online, and Hero is the best Protoss offline. And I do agree with that. I just think that's kind of the dynamic that they have. But even in online events, like I'm talking about Masters Coliseum, I'm talking about the DreamHack EU regionals as well. Even in events that MaxPax, even in big premier events that MaxPax is able to compete in, Cyril is still a player to be respected. It's still the best player in the world. But you know, I'm hoping for the hierarchy to shake up, right? I think a lot of people coming into DreamHack Dallas were hoping that maybe because Cyril is splitting up his time between playing and his military service, that maybe that would be enough for players to step up and for someone to knock Cyril down. And I mean, Oliveira had a really good showing. Like, again, the highlight for DreamHack for me was Oliveira versus Raynor into Oliveira versus Cyril. Like, those were some insane matches, and that was some beautiful StarCraft. The finals is a little bit lackluster for me. Unfortunately, I do think that the semifinals overshadowed the finals a little bit. But yeah, I think a lot of people were hoping that, you know, maybe because Cyril was doing his military, that another player could rise up, but that is not the case. Cyril is just too damn good. It's crazy, it's insane how good he is. But you know, MaxPax and Clem and all these other players are all improving over time, and you know, maybe the next season of DreamHack, maybe the next big event, someone is able to take it to Cyril. Regardless, we're focusing on our series here. As Adepts, they do make their way across the map. They do shade in. Oh! So you manage to shade in across the map. They do shave off some links. Not bad. Not a bad start here for MaxPax, but won't get any economic damage done as he is forced back. Behind this, Stargate open it into Oracle. Once again, just a standard game here out of MaxPax. Just Stargate into Oracle, into a third base. And we'll keep an eye on the Twilight Council timing. We'll keep an eye on any kind of aggression from MaxPax, and he has been more of the aggressor this series, with Glaives, with 3 base all-ins. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate that we've seen a bit of a different side here of MaxPax. Oracle does threaten to dive into the main. So far, Adepts denying any kind of mining as well. So far, so good. Adepts says they do shade into the natural. They shade into the natural base. Drones are going down. So far, only 2, thankfully. Not quite getting a third. But we're keeping Solar busy, and we're not quite done with those Oracles. As once again, we threaten those mineral lines. Solar able to keep up. Able to keep up, able to pick off a couple of extra workers here and there. Oh, as we catch some transferring drones. The moment that MaxPax was looking for, 3 more drones go down across the map. Third base is getting up and running. And this time, we have not rushed into a Twilight Council. Ooh, it looks like MaxPax was a little bit distracted, a little bit hyper-fixated on harassing. And this is leading into a much more standard follow-up. Twilight Council, Forge, +1 and Blink. We're getting into a more standard mid-game here on Alkione. So far, 5 drones going down. Solar's still maintaining his economy. Still able to keep up. Zeph's making their way across the map. Oracle into the main. Oracle into the main base. No Spore in position. The Queen's a little bit distracted. Ay, ay, ay. 6, 7 drones going down as Oracle's also hit the third. They also hit the natural as well. Not like this. And Solar is getting picked apart a little bit here. Falling behind in the worker count to the Oracle harass. And again, MaxPax is building up, going for a second Forge, getting into 1-1 upgrades. Again, it did look like MaxPax, his tech was a little bit late, just because he was focusing on harassing. So he had a hard time keeping up with himself. But we're able to just fall back on Blink play, fall back on our tech. Solar trying to rush into a Spire. So far, I believe unscattered. Spire is here at the natural. Now, if this doesn't get spotted, then Solar could try to make use of these mutas. Again, muta play is really risky in ZVP. If it gets scattered, it can be shut down. Like, you can shut down muta play so hard if it gets scattered. If not, then the opposite is true, where mutas can snowball out of control. We can just wreak havoc across the map, get economic damage done, dive on top of Stalkers, and Solar can bring it back with a hidden Spire. And just confirming, but MaxPax has not seen it. Does double back around, getting another drone. And before we can even think about the Spire, we're moving out with our Blink Stalkers. Blink is done, +1 finishing up as well alongside Blink. Can we buy time? Can we survive until those mutas? That's a big question. Remember, MaxPax is not all in. He's taking a 4th base, working towards charge, building up his upgrades, but only Lynx to defend. And Lynx, they're being shaved off. They're being shut down. Massive stasis does connect. Not like this. And we can keep pushing. MaxPax rotating over, hitting the 4th base instead. 12 mutas are on the way. Mutas are in production. And is it going to be enough? Queens are getting shut down. Again, Lynx, they just broke out. Not again! As another stasis connects. And mutas, they cannot engage, not head on. The 4th base is under fire. The Lynx is basically creating a stasis here, or a force field, what I meant to say. A choke point. Lynx, they have a hard time engaging. The army is being forced back. But because the mutas are revealed, we have a lot of time to respond. Zealot counterattack here into the main. Into the 3rd. Zealots in every single base. And the mutas, they have to turn back around. This is getting out of hand. It's becoming too much. 9 drones are full, and we get the Roach Warren as well. Not the most important pickup. Roach Warren and Evo Chamber. Could have been worse. Could have been more drones. As Zealots are cleaned up. Back at home. Working towards cannons, shield batteries. No Phoenix production yet. We have that Stargate, but no Phoenixes, relying on mainly Stalkers. There we go. First Phoenix is on the way. As Solar is committed to mass muta. But economically, MaxPax is still miles ahead. Yeah, it does focus on some of these mutas. Yeah, rough trade. Lings are coming in from behind, but we have an army lying in wait. MaxPax forced to blink back. Lings, they bust into the main. Flood into the main base. Mutas as well. What can we pick off? We go for the Artosis Pylon. Pylon goes down. Doesn't deny any more of these Phoenixes. Not bad. And Mutas, they rotate over to the 4th base. Probes are falling at the same time. A big Zealot counterattack across the map. Probes are falling for Solar drones. Oof, yeah, 10 workers go down. But the Mutas are not done. Honestly, pretty good damage here. 20 probes falling. 23. 24. 24 workers. Aye, aye, aye. Pretty good damage, and across the map we get 18 drone kills. Yeah, Max, he's keeping up in that harass, in that worker counts. Here we go across the map. Once again, we split up Zealots into the mineral line at the 3rd and headed towards the 4th. Also getting 24 drone kills. Not like this. As Solar, his economy is in shambles. He's down to 43 workers. He does have mass muta. He's got a lot of mutas. But is that enough? Once again, Muta's getting caught out. Beast is pushing in as well. There we go for the dive. We go for the blink. And Solo going for one final fight. Collapsing on these Stalkers. The blinks are looking good here for Max. And he's pulling back to the safety of the shield batteries. Reinforcements on the way. Yeah, more Stalkers do warp in. And with the help of the overcharge, we're holding our own. GG gets called. There's nothing left, and Max will take the series 3-0, becoming this week's ESL Open Cup Americas champion. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Max as he does take the series. Solo was able to get into his mass muta, but the non-stop Zealot harass was insane. Despite how many probes are falling, Solo was still losing as many, if not more, drones. So the non-stop Zealot harass, the Blink Stalker aggression as well. Max was just in the face of Solo the entire game, and Solo just could not breathe. Even with those mutas, it was not enough. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Max as he will be our champion once again. Solar does bow out, merely taking 2nd place. But regardless, still a solid performance. To make it here to 2nd place, Solar did bring down some big names to make it this far. Did bring down Nightmare, Trigger, Ryung earlier as well. GG, very well played. Likewise, Max mainly took down Protoss players. He took down Hero, Creator, and then of course Solar at the end. Congratulations. Congratulations here to Max and to Solar. And a shout out to all the others that did have a deep run as well. It was a great tournament. Even our first series of the night. Honestly, I feel like the highlight of the night was still Mixu versus Zero. If you missed out on it, our first series was Mixu versus Zero. It was like an hour-long best of 3. Sorry, like an hour and a half long best of 3. It was wild. It was a wild series, and yeah, shout out to Mixu for starting off the night with that. Led into Mana, led into Dark, into Creator, into Max. Again, plenty of matches, plenty of high-quality gameplay here tonight. Hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Unfortunately, we didn't get to cover too much Terran. We were hoping to maybe cast Beyond and catch Beyond later, but Beyond did go down to Nightmare earlier, so we weren't able to really embrace that. There was no Cure either, and no Clem. As of late, Clem has been less of a degen. It looks like Clem has been going to bed at regular times. He has not been staying, up until 6, 7 a.m. in the morning. He's not full degen currently. I'm sure he'll get back there though. I'm sure he'll get back. GG, well played. Imagine going to the military and still being the best player. That's ridiculous. Yeah, it's impressive. Really impressive stuff there from Zero. But yeah, with that, GG, well played, congratulations. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for the support. Our next broadcast is going to be later on tonight. Is going to be at around in 6 hours. In 6 hours time, we're going to be live with WTL, with World Team League. Usually World Team League is covered live over the weekend, but if you remember, we were busy this weekend with the How's the Galactic Battle. We had a 12-hour cast on Saturday, which means we could not cover World Team League for day 2. We missed out on day 2 of World Team League, so our goal is to catch up. I'm going to be catching up tonight in 6 hours with day 2 of WTL. So if you're interested, if you are interested, and if you maybe missed out on World Team League over the weekend, if you want to tune in, we got you covered. We got you covered in 6 hours time. Until then, I'm gonna go get some food. I'm a little bit tired, not gonna lie. I literally just woke up and went straight to casting. I'm gonna go get some breakfast. I'm gonna go maybe rest a little bit. It's in the next cast is in 6 hours, so maybe rest up. Maybe edit some VODs and schedule some VODs and work on stuff and rest up my voice. And yeah, we're gonna be back. We're gonna be back in 6 hours time. I apologize for being a little bit drowsy. I did notice I was slurring my words a little bit in the finals, a little bit drowsy, but I'll wake up. So good. I'll be ready for World Team League later on tonight. We'll be ready for it. Otherwise, thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. You can support us on Patreon if you wish. You can subscribe to get some benefits, to gain replay packs, to get access to our Discord sub-only channels, and also to get emotes. Lovely emotes. Fun fact, bit of a tease, we do have some new emotes in production. We do have some new emotes on the way. Not saying what they are yet, but they are being made as we speak. And yeah, look forward to it. Look forward to a fresh new set of emotes on the way. Of course, we're going to be keeping our current emotes, just adding on additional emotes on Twitch. So look forward to it. They're going to be cute, I imagine, and quack. Quack, not be quack. They're going to be amazing. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Thank you for the support. We'll see you guys next time. We'll see you guys next time here on the CranKy Ducklings. Whether it's tonight for WTL or tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be Kung Fu Cup. KFC Kung Fu Cup is going to be tomorrow night. That's another big event where the Koreans and the Europeans all come together as one and compete against each other. So do consider checking it out. Otherwise, we have KSL on Thursday, we have World Team League, and we have SE2 Safe House over the weekend. Oh boy, it's going to be a big one. It's going to be a big one. Again, SE2 Safe House is a big NA tournament that is going over the weekend. It's kind of like Home Story Cup, kind of. From my understanding, they've rented out a house, like Zombie Grub, Steadfast, Fear Dragon, Nathanius, the Zerg Girl. They all rented out a house in Vegas, and they're all going to be casting and drinking and having fun over the weekend. And we're going to be the B stream for day one. For day one, we're going to be the B stream. We will be bringing you as much content as possible. I guess in theme with the tournaments, we might drink a little bit of that. I don't know. Because the point of the event is that they're gonna get absolutely wasted. I'm pretty sure. Like it's not the most serious of tournaments. I believe their plan is to just have fun and get wild and get crazy, and we'll see what happens. I mean, you know, I have my tequila. I have my tequila always by my side, ready to go ham. We'll see. I don't know. I have nothing planned. We'll see what happens. Otherwise, we'll just cast some StarCraft. Some StarCraft. Well, it'll be fun. We'll have fun. It's going to be at 3 AM in the morning, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Thank you for the support. We are going to be heading off for the time being, and we'll see you guys later on tonight. Until then, gracias, papi, gracias. Hasta luego. Hasta luego.